guys. Bye,
might be-
guys.
Judging how loud that table thing was, I'm pretty sure that was our webcam mic.
I'm pretty sure it's the webcam mic.
Oh, but here, let me put on my camera here. My bad.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea actually.
There we go. Don't tell me what to do. Yeah. All right. Oh hell yeah. I'm the big boss. Do you like my background? Dude, you know what I found out? Most of the people in this background die horrible deaths with it before World War II even ends. I thought March at least lived a good life. Nah, bro, he dies like 6 months later. Just gets shot in the back while fucking swimming. I'm like, God damn. Honestly, judging by how fictionalized the movie is, they can definitely just continue on with these characters and just say fuck it. I'm Winston Churchill. Who's Winston Churchill? Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's
You say
kind of like
he's a modern Eddie Murphy.
I was about to say a modern Eddie Murphy.
I was like Winston Churchill. He was the prime minister of fucking the UK.
Yeah. For the people who are in chat or just like listening, trying to figure out what the hell we're talking. We're talking about the the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, right? The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. I think that's what it's called.
Sounds like propaganda.
Right? I don't know. Somebody fact check that one for me. But it was a good movie. We'll talk about it during the actual podcast, but good ass movie, bro. I am more of a Henry Cavill and Alan Richardson fan after that. That's gonna make me go watch Reacher. That was that movie is what is gonna make me watch Reacher. And honestly, Alan for Batman. Alan for Batman. It's about time we had a fucking roided out Batman and not like like Ben Affleck roided out. Well, he's not. He most of it was muscle suit, right? Like, dude, like that dude is all muscle. You don't need the suit. Just put him in some spandex and we're good, bro. All right. They can put him in like a cloth, like the cloth Batman suit, and it would work. They don't need like the muscle suit and shit. He would look amazing. He should just do that. He should just buy like somebody send that man just a cloth Batman suit. Be like, just put this on, just to see how it looks. The Superman's even getting like a practical suit at this point, right? Like people are complaining about like, oh man, look at the creases in it. I'm like, yeah, it looks like he can fucking move in it. Something I'm telling you, dead ass, Henry Cavill couldn't. That dude's neck was so stiff through the whole fucking movie. Do you see that? So tight. He's barely able to move his arms. Most of the movement, I think, is all CG, right? Like all the fight shit. Yeah. Maybe in the later suits, I would say, but the most of the people are just like, look at the Man of Steel version of the suit. Look how different it is. It's like, yeah, he couldn't fucking move in it. Look at Ben Affleck's Batman suit, right? Like, yeah, he can move his neck a little bit, but like his shoulders ain't going fucking nowhere. You can see it through the whole movie. He's like this the whole fucking time. Right? He's like Popeye Batman. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like the suits we used to get, and it would come with like you would get like the poster of that, but in like a cereal box or something on like a holographic like two-way card or something. You know what I mean? And that's saying I don't like the Superman suit though. It just you just can tell he can't move in it. You know what I mean? But that's the evolution. That's the evolution of like superhero suits, though. It's been worse. Look at the old '80s Batman suits. Those are terrible. Mari, have you talking this whole time? Here,
Well, you can't hear Mario.
wait, he's been talking shit about Superman the whole time. He said Superman sucks. Batman's better. We get a Robin movie before we get a Superboy movie.
I hate your guts. I hope this fixes it. I think this fixes
Oh,
it. Yeah,
you
I see
can't hear
fixing.
it, but he just said the '80s suck.
Hey. I think I fixed it. Let me know, Sly. I see the bars moving, so theoretically that should be good.
Yeah, you should be good. Hopefully.
Dead. Oh no.
What do you think about the new Superman suit? Harv?
Oh, okay, all good now. What I think about? Oh yeah, go ahead, Harv.
That looks good. I think it looks cool. The one thing is more alarming is that the city is getting destroyed in the back, and he just
the bad fucking Photoshop in the background.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so funny.
I think it's Brainiac. That looks like kind of like Brainiac, but it could very much be like Starro or something.
I don't think there's anything to do with the background. I think they just put that in there just for the hell of it.
I don't think it
think
has anything
I
to do
think
with the
the
movie
photo-
either.
Yeah, I think the photo is just to show off the suit.
Which
I think
is-
it looks good. That's fine.
I think I like the suit, but my thing is I just don't know if the presentation was there for this random photo of him like slowly putting on his boots. When I know Superman, the main thing I know Superman is Christopher Reeves like ripping off the shirt, going into a phone booth, and then all of a sudden has all his clothes, you know? So for me, this is like
it's 2024 though, you know, so you get something just in your closet.
guess.
You have to put it on.
I guess we're all
It's
tired, and we're
2024,
all
bro.
sleepy, and we
I
all
don't
have
know
to like
phone booths. What is he gonna do?
dirty ass
see where's he
Where's he
cars.
gonna go?
He
Well,
sees
he
a
do-
big beam in the sky, and he's like, "God damn!" Looks at his phone. God damn it!
Yeah, I know.
That's actually what I kind of get from the photo. It's just like it's just another day, but like you know how like most people would be in that photo, they'd be like kind of apathetic almost. They'd be like, "Oh, I gotta go do work." In the photo, he kind of looks like he doesn't really care. There's just like, okay,
That's the
gotta
problem.
suit
It's
up
like
again.
I don't want that from the Superman. I want him to be like I want to go back to classic, right? I want to go back to the all shucks, like I'm saving cats out of trees, Superman. But right now, it's just sort of like, fuck, another Gen Z moment. Like I gotta go ahead and make sure I get my clothes on and get back out there. I don't even wash the damn suit. It looks like it's dirty as shit.
I got a feeling that's how he finds it, like from like the Krypton pod.
Yeah.
Because remember, it's like it is supposed to be a used suit. You know what I mean? Like, and the last time it was used wasn't really.
My thing is, I love the
really
idea of
good
his mom makes it. that's from the comics. Like the blanket that he comes in is the cape, but the actual suit is just his mom made it. But we're not gonna do that, obviously. That's fine. I don't know.
Order
I
it
still
off
like it. I'm
Amazon.
excited for it. I just was like, it came out of nowhere. Like, there's no
Yeah,
major
it
reason
came out of
why.
nowhere. Like one morning, I woke up, I just looked at Twitter. I was just like, oh, here's the Superman suit, I guess.
It was like a distraction from the Kendrick fucking Drake, discussion. Then all of a sudden, it's just
Goddamn.
like,
But honestly, though, I kind of like the Superman suit better with the collar than without.
fair.
You know what I mean? It kind of gives like Superman Injustice, you know, with the high collar he has in that one.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I like the suit better with it. I don't know. I can't really think like how they would do like a cloth suit nowadays. You know what I mean?
No, for sure. And I get like it's definitely of a time. We're definitely past that. It'd be hard to really justify, you know.
I mean, they pull it off in the CW show, right?
They do. It's still not like a cloth suit, but it's like it's similar to like I would
It's
say
close.
It's like a
good.
nylon, like kind of like how they have it in
Well, there's that. Remember that one scene where they had the classic suit for a minute?
Oh, yeah,
where
I
they
loved
kinda
it.
had a throwback scene.
I loved it.
It
yeah.
looked pretty good in that.
Again, I would love it, but I for some reason I feel like people just have an aversion of like, oh, if it looks too kitschy, then I'm not gonna
I think
enjoy
we've
it.
moved. I think we've moved past like cloth, right? Like
Yeah.
every kind of Superman or superhero like movie and like show or that has their like era,
Yeah.
right? Or like I would say the old school days was like the cloth. right? The 60s, 70s, 80s, maybe.
And a lot of that
And
came
then-
because they didn't want to draw fucking rivets inside a costume. But now that, we have modern comics, Batman has to have like 16 different fucking like variations to make it look like an armor suit.
Mhm.
When all it was just logo. That's
Yeah.
it. Like that was really it. No abs either. Just fucking logo. And then obviously muscle definition came in, and then we
And
got
then
a little
rubber.
crazy about it. Rubber came
The
in.
rubber made it so then you didn't really have to have the muscles to like do it because they could just mold the muscles.
And
into the
I'll
rubber.
blame fucking Tim Burton for that because of the movie.
Honestly.
That's
Because
like
then a lot of other superhero movies kind of followed suit, like Ninja Turtles
Exactly.
and stuff like that, like
Exactly.
latex and stuff like that. Latex was then the next thing after that because rubber then moved into latex.
Yeah. we got the black
then
suits
we
from fucking
got-
X-Men.
What if
Mhm.
he, what
Then
if
leather.
he just had like? What if he just had like a T-shirt that had the S on it?
Fucking tell me
He
about
does.
it.
He did
Fucking tell me about it, man.
before he got like because the new Superman suit like that they showed is very reminiscent of like the new 52 one,
Mhm.
which I think is done on purpose because I think it's just like Gunn's way of saying, hey, this is going to be a new universe.
Yeah.
But before that, he was just walking around with a t-shirt, jeans, and like work boots with
Yeah.
like a cape like tied to his neck.
Frank posted a picture somewhere, I think, on Twitter, and that's the
Uh-huh.
exact one. It's the Frank Quietly Grant Morrison run that started
Uh-huh.
the New 52, and I loved it. I thought it was just so, especially
like it
early
too,
days.
actually.
It was early
reminds
days
me-
silliness, and I just thought that was great.
Well, kind of in a way, it's very like there is, even though it isn't like 100%, there's still a father kind of son dynamic with Superman and Superboy.
Yeah.
And I kind of like how they like in a way through that run when Superboy does show up, it's kind of cool that they kind of did the same thing when they first like when they were
Yeah.
like younger, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so
Um,
I like it, but I don't think they would. That'd be cool if they do
I
it.
think
Though.
they're gonna do it in the movie though.
That'd be
like
cool.
for like for a little bit. You know what I mean? Like maybe
Yeah.
like, oh, I gotta save somebody really quick, and he just like kind of grabs something.
Like
and
it'd be
just-
great if it just merch, right? It's just Superman merch. He just grabs it, puts it on, and then
We'll see though. I'm excited. I'm excited. What happened with Fee here?
I don't know. Fee died. Fee couldn't figure out the microphone situation and then just personally died.
And then
Why
just
you
like
get
deleted.
everywhere? Yeah, I don't know. You just said my Discord audio is absolute shit. My mic is good everywhere else.
It's
No
probably
idea.
her input then on Discord.
Most likely.
Probably reset the
input.
default, and her default's probably her webcam because that's what it sounded like.
Yeah.
I know. Elgato likes to add a lot of sources.
Yeah, and they did just have an update recently too.
Yeah, I don't know if that's just the case. I mean, Fee, just feel free to come on back, and then we'll figure out as we go.
Fee, we miss you, Fee.
Fee, we
Where did
need you.
go? I miss you so.
Kendrick, we need you. God,
man.
are we going to talk about that? 'Cause that was a
I mean,
moment.
I'm not really like. I'm not 100% versed on this. I think Fee actually at this point knows more about this shit than I do.
Kind of
I've
funny.
just
Did
been,
a
like, listening
good
to it.
breakdown. They actually did a good breakdown of the timeline, why it references to certain things, and it's really fucking good.
Yeah, I didn't want to have to watch a fucking video essay to like get the beef. That's why I didn't watch one. I was just like, yeah, okay, this is cool. Bye.
Yeah. I mean, everybody knows the basics, right? Drake,
Yeah.
a bitch. Kendrick,
A
an
bitch.
artist.
I mean,
I'm a Drake hater, so I'm like, as soon as I like saw
I'm
somebody was
100%
calling him
Drake
out, I'm
hater.
like, oh, dude, I love this. This is great.
you're not wrong.
A
You're not
minor.
wrong.
Drake's got some good songs. I'm not gonna say I don't listen to some
That's what I mean.
Drake songs.
Yeah.
Like Drake makes good like
Well, his
just
ghostwriters
music.
His ghostwriters
Just
make great
music.
songs, but
Yeah.
like, I'll tell you
That's
what.
why he's like it's not 1 versus 20, it's 20 versus 1 because I gotta go against all your
True.
ghostwriters as well.
And
There's
wait
some
till the
great
K-pop army
TikToks.
shows up, dude. The K-pop army's at the helm, ready to go, bro.
Fucking, and they're
Like-
they're ready for to back up fucking Kendrick. all
They're
right?
backing Kendrick. This is gonna be like some Avengers Endgame type shit where Kendrick's gonna be on the
Dun,
back
dun,
end, and then
dun,
you're gonna hear
dun, dun.
you're gonna hear Bang Chan go on your left, and then there's gonna
Smooth like
K-pop
butter.
army's gonna show up.
They're gonna show up. There's gonna be the West Coast rappers are gonna show up. Fucking Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, the ghost of
Snoop Dogg.
Tupac. Fucking, but then like on Drake's side, fucking P Diddy, and then Drake's like, no, go away. Like, don't come down here.
Right.
Oh my god. Rick Ross is just gonna be in there fucking eating popcorn. It's gonna be fantastic.
Rick Ross is gonna be there eating. Like, he's not even fighting, he's just eating.
Fucking Rick. Even Rick Ross was, dude. Even Rick,
Rick Ross is gonna
got
crash a
into it.
fucking plane into turn into Drake.
God damn. That's so funny. Oh, Fee's back. Fee, you there?
Yes.
All right. You sound better.
You sound
good.
great.
Sound good.
Hey.
Yeah, I had to open it up on the computer, like literally in a browser, because the Discord app is shit, literal shit, and I'm not
little
dealing
poopy.
with it.
Little
It's
poopy.
poopy.
No, it's not little poopy. We're not
little poopy.
PGing it. It's literally a big pile of shit.
Oh
and
wait,
I'm
you
not
just
dealing
got
with
censored
it.
because like on my end, you like you cut out for a sec as you said shit.
Yes.
Discord is trying to censor her.
Big
Yeah.
Discord. Quiet after this one.
Also, Bang Chan does not sing Butter. Bang Chan is from
Sorry.
Stray Kids.
I thought
Thank
I was
you.
gonna get reprimanded for that, but you're right. I didn't say that though.
I'm
Listen, I'll
said
admit when
that?
I'm wrong. It was an assumption, and I swung for the fence.
Oh my god.
And
yeah, that
Honestly,
was a, that was a,
This is why I don't talk
um,
about individual
no,
people.
no.
I just say BTS.
I think we were talking about Bang
Here's
Chan
the thing.
the other day. That's why.
Because we've
Fuck, comes to
literally
mind.
seen what happens this weekend when people do not disrespect Stray Kids, because literal photographers' addresses are posted online right now.
God damn.
Literal
Oh, yeah,
manhunt.
there's K-pop beef, but you got to explain that to us during the podcast, Fee. Because what you were telling me is actually kind of fucking wild. That's happening
Well-
while the Kendrick Drake beef is happening.
Wow.
Well, no, there was something that happened this weekend, which was really disgusting, and it's not cool. So yeah,
damn,
do
it got
not
worse?
mess around with. Well, it's because of it's towards Stray Kids at the Met.
Whoa.
Oh,
Yeah, people are being
Yeah, the Met-
racist.
We
That
should
was
definitely talk
yesterday,
about
right?
the Met. There's some things about that I want to talk about for sure.
Yesterday?
Yeah, the dystopian Hunger Games. Cool.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm super down to talk about the distorted reality of the people who went to the Met Gala.
Yeah.
Everybody except Sydney Sweeney. Because
Yeah,
goddamn,
she's protected.
I forgot
Sydney
that.
Sweeney get a
I
pass.
forgot
white
that
girl
it was
protected.
happening yesterday.
I just saw the what was it? Oh, and also Zendaya, she's protected. I don't care. Everyone gets their pass.
Zendaya doesn't get a pass from me.
She looks cool. She looked cool at the Hunger Games.
It wasn't even the Hunger Games.
It felt like it. It felt like it. Beforehand, obviously before.
Shout out to the X-Men Met Gala, the Marvel Met Gala, the only one that actually matters.
Oh, the Hellfire Gala? Hell yeah.
There you go, the Hellfire Gala. There you go.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, where is the link, by the way?
It
for
should always
cameras?
be where it normally is in the pinned, but if not, I will grab it right now. And I will put it in the chat for you.
In Gen or
It should be. And should be. We should be able to paste it in every single one of them. But I'm putting in recording right now.
yeah. Okay.
Even I think Harv even did it too.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not in Pip Gen right now. There's nothing there.
I'm gonna make sure we fix that because it's probably because it was in the old chat.
Gotcha. Yeah, I went and clicked it, and there was nothing there, and I'm like, okay, cool beans. So
More pin message.
Who said
Oh, yeah,
that
pin
if you bookmark it, it's good? Someone said if you bookmark it,
I believe
it's the same
Sly
thing.
bookmarked it in their
browser.
browser.
That's what I did too.
and then it
I
just
haven't used it
automatically
in a while.
loads it up. And then once Fee's camera feed is available, I will start the show. As always.
Hell yeah, brother.
Fee, thank you so much. Background looking amazing. I love that the cat could have a cameo in the background. That's perfect.
A cat meow.
Cat
it's
meow.
good
Meow.
until she decides to throw up off of it, and
That's
then I have to
true.
turn off my camera.
And then it's content.
Hello,
She just
Dustin.
ejects herself off of
Hello.
it.
Hello.
doing? He's
Why do
Dustin's
you
probably
have
getting a little antsy?
Why is Henry Cadville in your background right now?
Oh, we're
Do
about
you
to
see
find
him?
that out. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. We're about to find out on this podcast.
You see him?
Hey, he's on your left. How I feeling? I'm feeling kind of meh, but I actually worked today, so progress today.
There you go.
Go on.
I have to charge Toasty.
Who the fuck is Toasty?
Oh, yeah. Toasty is that thing.
Oh shit!
It lights up.
But let me see it light up though. You gotta show it lit up. Or it's not lit up. Oh, you still have to charge it.
Yeah. Also, Dustin, after the podcast,
That's bread right
today,
there.
I'll be in the Discord to stream the game too afterwards.
Nice. All right, well then let's get it on the
is
road
this?
then. I'll go ahead and get started.
Get off GTA here.
Get off GTA. I'm off my portal, and we're get started right now. Hello and welcome everyone to the Point in Progress podcast, episode 97. We're so close to 100. I'm actually kind of terrified because we still got things to talk about and do then. But until then, of course, this is your lovely cast of people here at Point in Progress. I'm going to go ahead and round the group here and introduce everybody. First, I'm going to start with my, of course, ungentlemanly buddy, Frank. How you doing?
You see Henry Cavill just fucking his eye just like
Just
peeking
peeking
from the other side.
Yeah, peeking
Right
behind
here.
your thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I have I got a buzz ball and
Oh, no.
I've been playing GTA, so it's been a great day.
That's a great combination.
Oh.
Okay. And then Harv, how you doing?
Recovering. I've been sick for the last 5 days.
Oh no.
Took a couple days off of work, and now we're back at it again.
Are you feeling better?
Yeah,
sound
for the
better.
most part. For the most part, I feel better. It's just I still have cough. I still have a sore throat in the morning and stuff, but
Mhm.
making progress.
Okay. And then the one that has to charge their toast, Fee, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. Other than the fact I'm still trying to figure out why my Discord on the app is being a big butthead.
I mean, I always have that pop-up that comes up that's just like, do you want to change your fucking audio drivers? And I'm like, no, I don't want to. Leave it alone. And then
The
I don't,
amount
No,
of
this-
updates that this fucking app goes
Yeah.
through every single week is crazy.
No, but Discord? Or
Yeah. A Discord. Like how many times I see that little red, or like green little arrow
Yeah.
on the top right hand corner. Like how you guys can't be doing that many updates to this thing.
or just
Well,
do a
like
bigger
also
update.
it's working everywhere else. That's the thing. I tried Audacity, I tried online recording, I tried recording it off of my computer. Perfect. But not on the app, so I don't know what's going on. Maybe I just need to uninstall and reinstall it. Be
Yeah, I
like,
actually had
"F
to do that
you."
too to Discord at some point. At some point it just wouldn't even like show the Discord screen. I had to like uninstall and reinstall the whole thing. So that's a possibility.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But not right now though, because we got a podcast.
Mhm.
That's right. We got to catch up on all the things that we've been doing and want to talk about. Of course, there are
So many
certain...
things have happened.
There's
so many
have
things.
Oh my
happened.
God, the world could have ended, and that was not even the biggest story of the week, right? It was literally just so much chaos going on with, in the music industry, in the movies industry, in the goddamn video game industry. There's just so much happening in the last like several days. Not even like just the weekend alone. Things are just popping off, and like I don't even know where should we even start. Like where's something
I
like
think
Which
I think we should
industry do you
start.
want to start on?
yeah.
I think honestly we should start at what everybody knows about what's going on right now, and that is the music beefs.
Okay.
Everybody knows what's going on about the music beefs, and honestly, between what's going on in rap and what Fee was telling me in K-pop, I'm kind of curious.
Well, I don't know much about the K-pop one, obviously, due to my ignorance in the pre-show. So I definitely would love to hear what's going on with that. So, Fee, can you step us through?
I will say that Fee has bombarded me
Oh,
with
Jesus.
so many
Yes.
TikToks
Yes,
with the Kendrick Lamar and the Drake stuff. It's
Yes.
so funny seeing her going through this process of
Dude,
beef
the amount
in the
of
hip hop.
beef coming from that, and then the anime TikToks, the anime Drake versus Kendrick beefs are the best parts. It's like either Goku or Vegeta or like Jujutsu Kaisen. They got Sukuna and fucking Gojo going off at it.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Death Note should be a
absolutely
part of
nuts.
this because someone got murdered this weekend. Like, absolutely.
Yeah, Drake's house is currently being investigated right now as we speak.
The embassy's been shut down.
The
So-
embassy has been shut down.
So I want to talk to the lore master, Fee. What's going on? Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with the rap beef or do you want to start with the K-pop beef?
Oh my goodness, those are two very different situations. I mean, I guess the whole like Hybe versus Menhijin happened before the rap beef, so we could talk
Okay.
about that first.
Okay, timeline.
Timeline wise, yes. So Menhijin is currently, and I'm saying currently because who knows at the end of the week at this point.
Oh no.
She, like, for context, like a lot of American companies, there's like the top company and then there's companies that are underneath or the umbrella. And Hybe is that kind of large entertainment business. So they have different studios underneath of it, which has Big Hit, which is BTS for people who are unaware. Pledis, who has 17.
I'm
One day
contractually
you'll-
obligated.
I mean,
obligated.
one day you'll actually like listen to their music and learn something other than butter, but I digress. Like there's just a multitude of different studios, one of which is Adore. Adore, not to be confused with Adore, like
Yeah,
Adore.
I did.
Or Adore the
it's-
Smashing Pumpkin song.
Correct.
Yes.
She like that particular studio has a band called New Jeans, which New Jeans popped off last year, debuted last year. They did the like championships World Series song for League of Legends. They've been doing a lot of great stuff over the past year. And there was some controversy because the director or the head of Adore, who is once again underneath Hybe, I'm just gonna stress this, not separate, a part of it, got upset because this year they debuted a new band called Illit, who Illit is once again a female group. Does not like, sure, it has like kind of like the girly vibe to it, but it has a different kind of sound.
Okay.
But she was very much saying, this is the same. You guys are copying me. You're copying New Jeans. This is not okay. And so things just started to transpire after this, such as they did an investigation and it looks like she's been trying to separate herself, like her studio, from Hybe and just become an independent, which means that she would be taking New Jeans with her if that happened. A lot of rumors that have been coming out, which, by the way, I'm just going to preface that this is also like, this is very much like what people have been noticing is she has connections to a lot of rumors that have been coming out of Hybe. And it's just this huge issue. And so she held a press conference, and for
Okay.
people who want to enjoy that ride, it was about an hour. She is wearing a shirt that looks like it's from Steve from Blue's Clues. It's the green kind of striped t-shirt and a baseball cap. And it was just a very weird time. She was showing like she was like showing messages.
This is where
Okay.
I was kind of like, if she came out to a press conference wearing that, I'd be like, you know what? That's not bad. That's not that terrible, in my opinion. But she is still crazy. She's still a
I don't
crazy
know.
person.
The Blue's Clues fit.
She-
That's a statement. I feel. You
I
know.
think it's a decent fit. I think
You know, just
It's supposed to be-
Coming
it's
out looking
supposed to
like
be-
Steve from Blue's Clues. You know what I mean?
I think it's mostly to come off more as down to earth, and be
coming in
more the
casually.
person's person. Because she was the person who called this press conference and then freaked out because people were taking photos of her. And so she was just like, you need to stop taking photos of me. You need to stop taking photos of me or I'm not going to talk. And so this, after a number of journalists left because they couldn't take photos, she started the press conference and it was just a roller coaster. She essentially... The wording that she had was not particularly great, including talking about one of the members saying that she was pretty.
Wait. Hold on.
There have
Oh.
been rumors as well that she was very upset about BTS doing so well because she also was a part of an entertainment group called SM, and she worked with a group called EXO, who were essentially, the projection-wise, started around the same time as BTS. They started a little bit earlier. BTS got a lot of awards. EXO still did really good, but doesn't have as much of an international name.
Okay.
And so, at some point, there have been rumors that she has hired a shaman to bring bad vibes to BTS essentially. To like essentially say like we don't want them to succeed as much as they have been. And I'm saying all of this is rumors and hearsay because I don't want to get sued. So
Allegedly,
this is just a lot of
Allegedly. Same
Allegedly.
shaman though
Allegedly.
was
Remember-
on Drake's
remember-
side. He was helping Drake as well. So
Remember, if you're
It's
ever going to say
true,
any out-of-pocket shit that might get you in trouble with lawyers, just say allegedly. It's
just say allegedly. You're good.
allegedly.
Say allegedly,
So there's
right?
just like
Allegedly,
a
I
lot
can
of
do that.
craziness going here. And there was just like she was talking about the fact that the girls were messaging her, telling her how bad they felt for her, and then they also like Hype's side was kind of like at the around the same time was talking about the fact like it seems like she's been trying to like make some adjustments so we are more inclined to release Adore to be an independent. It's not going to happen. They'd rather her step down as chair of Adore and being like peace out because there's stock issues and everything else. So it's just been a very weird vibe and just huge amounts of like back and forth between the parent company, which is Hybe, and then just her going off about the different bands. And then she also got upset because Bang, who is the like he works for Big Hit as well as Hybe, and kind of like the chair, and she was getting upset because he was messaging her about projections on how she thinks her band would succeed against another K-pop group that was debuting around the same time. And I'm like, this seems like pretty normal business conversation. Why are you upset about this question that he's asking in regards to your business? I am like, there's just so many things going on, and it's really heated because they're like it seems like all these rumors that have been coming out that have caused some really huge issues, like particular singers going on hiatus, some people having to step out of their group, are all in relation to like they all kind of like come back to Min Hee Jin. So it's like it seems as though she's started these rumors or she's like correlated to this. So it's just like, this isn't so hot. So there's been threats against her, especially since she was trying to go up against BTS because she was upset about how well they were doing. She also said like, no one in K-pop has done what I've done in the past 30 years, which is kind of bonkers. There's just a whole bunch of stuff going on.
To say.
It's a little delusion, which like I'm like
a little delusional. That's a good sprinkle of delusion right there. That's an overseasoned amount of delusion.
It's like Slay Queen. Like by all means, like I wish I had that type of confidence and like idea of how I like when I go into work. I kind of wish I was like, no one's done what I've done in the past 30 years of my company. Like by all means, the gall. But it's really. Like, of course, and I heard this slightly before we got into the podcast, is like, and kind of bringing it into the other conversation is, will a K-pop rapper or like a K-pop like group react to what's currently going on? The answer to that is probably not. Which there is some rumors that Stray Kids, because there is an app called Bubble, which is a platform where people can subscribe and have conversations with their favorite K-pop idols. And Bang, yes, it's a whole thing. Bang Chan, who is the leader, or Chris, the leader of Stray Kids, was mentioning the fact that he'd been keeping. Yes, what's up? What's up?
Bubble, can you send video content and also photo content on this platform? Just curious.
The
idols
creator can. I don't think people can send them photos.
Got it. Just double checking.
Wait, what?
It just
because
sounds...
they can send photos on Weverse, which is another application.
No, because it was sounding very close to like, is this just OnlyFans for K-pop stars?
No, it's the same thing as what's that other like one where you can Cameo? It's just like Cameo.
Cameo, I guess.
It's not as disconnected because you can have that back and forth in a way. It's not like daily. It's not like you get to. It's a whole thing. I I personally don't use it, so I can't give you a full rundown on
Sure,
how Bubble
fair.
works. But he was talking about it, but he wasn't saying whose side he was on. He wasn't trying to like be a part of it. Honestly, if anyone in that group made a verse to BBL Drizzy, it's
BBL
definitely
Drizzy.
Changmin, and
Dude.
we're never
BBL
seeing it. We are
Drizzy.
never getting this. Someone said like he's definitely like thinking about the fact that he's like coming up with a bunch of like verses, but he can never release them. So what a time. Yeah, it's kind of wild that this happened, and there's a creator that I watch and I need to remember, like I need to go through my app while we go into a conversation because he talks about K-pop, but he also has been following the beef between Kendrick and Drake, and he's just like K-pop fans that also follow rap beefs are freaking eating right now. They have the Min Hee Jin drama with Hybe, and now we have Kendrick and Lamar, and like not Kendrick Lamar, Kendrick and Drake. I can't speak right
That's
now;
fine.
it's super late. But yeah, it's very funny that all of this is happening all at once. Mind you, the Min Hee Jin situation started about a week and a half ago, but it's still coming kind of like back and forth a little bit. But yeah, the biggest topic this weekend that kept everyone on their toes was Kendrick versus Drake, and definitely not J. Cole, because J. Cole
J.
got
Cole's
an
living his best
apology
life.
from everyone.
He's
Best-
good.
He's living his
You know what the best fucking video that came out of this was? Somebody had edited. Have you ever seen Saving Private Ryan?
Yes.
There's a scene where that dude gets stabbed, and they put Kendrick as the dude who's stabbing Drake, and while J. Cole is crying in the fucking on the staircase, and then Kendrick just comes out, just stares at J. Cole, just walks right past.
Yeah. I was telling Harv this is last year, J. Cole did a song with J-Hope from BTS, and I'm like, this man's probably thinking, I'm just staying with K-pop idols. Y'all are not as dramatic as this. I'm staying out of this. I love the fact that like people were on J. Cole's case, and they're just like, you're just being a little bitch. Like,
Yeah.
you're like, why are you like trying to step out of this? Like, doesn't make any sense. And everyone this weekend is just like, you know what? I apologize
Yes.
to you.
Yes.
I now understand why you
Yes.
stepped out.
You did not want that
so
smoke,
good.
sir, and I
It
understand.
is, it is so fucking good because it's literally the week was like J. Cole, you's a little bitch, and then this week is like, you know what? I understand because everybody's
It's
just
funny
like,
because I feel like a lot of people that really like they know Kendrick, but they don't really listen to Kendrick's music.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so now that people are listening to Kendrick's music, like, yeah, you can see why J. Cole kind of just said, yeah, no, I'm
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
yeah, no.
Because when you put these two together in a lyricist like versus thing, Kendrick is the best lyricist out there.
He sent this to me
Hands
on
down.
TikTok, but even Obama agrees.
Yeah. So,
Even Obama agrees. Obama
true.
called this like years ago.
oh, he did. He was in an interview.
Years.
Yeah, he was in an
Yeah.
interview.
Yes.
Talking about
Yeah,
that.
they asked about it. He's just like Kendrick versus Drake, and he's just like, I have to say it, my boy Kendrick. And then you're just like, okay, you know what? He was correct.
Yeah. I think like to you guys, what is the wildest thing of this fucking beef? To me, it is the back-to-back fucking releases. Like Drake releases an
Oh,
album, and then
it-
10 minutes later, Kendrick's just like, "Yeah,
Frank.
I got two for you, motherfucker."
Frank, you know,
Like,
one of my favorite comic books of all time, of course, is Watchmen. And in Watchmen, there is literally a moment where the bad guy's like, I did that shit 30 minutes ago, right?
yeah, like
And
it's
that's
already over.
literally what fucking happened was he releases a track, Drake responds, seconds later, fucking he has a track ready for him.
I think the craziest thing I saw was like RDC World was just like, oh, they were listening to the Drake beef, like the Drake
Yes.
diss track, and then during that same time they're listening to it, they see in their chat Kendrick dropped, and everybody's like, "What the fuck? How? Like, what's going
Like,
on?"
I watched so many
You
streams.
just hit the second fucking tower.
Literally, I watched so many streams where it was like Blessing Adeoye Jr. was listening to Drake, and then all of a sudden they were like, "Wait, Kendrick dropped?" I was watching Hassan talk about it, and then like it dropped. Fantano, like it was a wild weekend. Yeah, man. We definitely don't have to go through the entire timeline, but just the fact that like we are in a cultural moment that is similar to, I would say, like how it used to be in the 90s when it was, opposing sides versus West Coast versus East Coast for a second there. Obviously, this is definitely on a grander scale because that was like, I can't even tell you how long that beef lasted. This has been like warfare, buildings being destroyed, things are coming down so quickly.
Yeah, but I also feel like
that's powered by the internet.
Yeah, but I feel like the 90s was more of a turbulent one because
of course.
of those beefs.
Yeah, no, like they were shooting each other after these beefs. Like they will put out a track, and then you were not going to a club.
The week is still young.
The week is still young, though.
I mean,
like,
there was
what are
a
you
shooting
talking
at
about?
Drake's mansion, like near it. I don't think it was at the mansion, but I think it was near it or something. Like that.
A security guard got shot.
From what they've been saying is that I think UMG was the one that told Drake to stop the beef at this point because UMG owns his music.
Losing.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
money.
looking really bad. Like their contracts with their like Nike and just everyone's like, no, this looks bad. So there's gonna be a lot of like.
I mean, the last
capitalism, guys.
The hard part 6 at the end, he's just like smoking a cigarette, like, I'm fucking done, man. We gotta stop. We gotta stop. Hold on, I'm really tired of this.
It's
we got the pen.
Drake.
I was like, really, Drake? You're gonna do that? Yeah, and then he mentions Millie Bob Brown inside his track. It's like,
and Kendrick never brought it up the whole week.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. Back to my question. What is the craziest part of this beef to you? Each one.
BBL Drizzy.
100%. Dude, BBL Drizzy is so fucking good.
Metro Boomin.
He's Drizzy. Because he's just like,
don't
make a beat. So he's just
so
like,
good.
He's like, not only am I going to make a beat, I'm going to make it like free so people can just make whatever they want. So it's not just between Kendrick and Drake now. It's like Drake versus everybody because everyone is dropping a freaking video. There's dances to it. There's Bollywood dances to it.
It was playing in the club.
There's a nun who's reacting, playing in the club. Someone has made an entire thing where he like dissected the entirety of all of Drake's like plastic surgery in a verses.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like we saw the freaking Duolingo bird doing like freaking throwing it back to that freaking song. It is phenomenal. That song's stuck in my head.
This is a good fucking. It's something that I'm just saying it. I'm just every time I get up to go use the washroom, I'm like, baby, Tracy, like just.
The A minor in Not Like Us has been getting stuck about A minor.
Like just for context too, like I sent you guys a picture earlier of just it like the GTA chat, right? Like I'm playing GTA, and I joined a random lobby and I just typed in BBL Drizzy in full caps, and then everybody was just jumping in on it.
It's just been go ahead.
The biggest thing for me was when he dropped Beat the Grams and then Not
that
Like
was
Us. Like the back
Beat the Grams is fucking wild.
It is wild, but that's not a song that you can like jam to.
No,
Adonis is when he's 18.
But when when he turns 18. But when Not Like Us dropped, I was like, okay, this is something that you can like actually jam to at this point.
I think that was done on purpose. I think the Not Like Us thing, it's just like, okay, you guys, because if you look at all like the criticisms on like what Kendrick was doing, it was like, well, this isn't a bop. I'm like, I don't know why that matters, but then he drops a bop, and it's like, okay, now everybody kind of
in some aspects, like one of my favorite songs, of course, is the Tupac. So I was like, fuck your bitch in the clique you claim. Like that is a fucking song. Hey, money, like that is a song. So I love that there's the sort of like think piece.
I showed Fee that song. Hit him up.
Oh my god, hit him up! Yeah, it's a fucking classic.
The Eminem version of that, where he's dissing Everlast.
No.
Oh man. So Eminem, back in the day when Everlast had heart attack, I think Everlast mentioned his daughter. This is like one of the times like someone mentioned his daughter, like, and then he goes off on the person. He made an 8-minute song with D12, and halfway through the song they do a beat switch, and it's literally like Hit 'Em Up, but with Eminem's lyrics, and instead he just like the beginning is like kill Whitey because his name's Whitey Ford, right? Like, kill Whitey, kill. It's like, oh dude, what the fuck? Like old school beef used to be just like this, and it was great. It was just crazy times.
And we had a little small moment.
People died.
Yeah, of course. We had a little moment of it like earlier with Eminem and of course Machine Gun Kelly, which he got killed so bad he had to change genres. Which
Yeah, but I don't think beef is the same anymore. You know what I mean? Because like
that's what
the
I'm
internet
saying.
very
Like,
much jumps on it. They're like, "Oh, don't bully this man" or stuff like that. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like look at the Eminem and like Tyler the Creator kind of beef that like
Oh, I didn't even know
stopped
they
as soon
had
as it
one.
happened.
Oh
Well,
shit.
they had a small one because Eminem had mentioned him, and then the internet kind of bullied Eminem into saying sorry to Tyler the Creator.
You know the rap game versus Ja Rule, just in general.
I mean, yeah.
50 Cent. I mean, let's be real here. That's an ongoing.
50 Cent's the
conflict.
biggest hater.
That's all. As
that
yeah,
war
that's gonna be an
hasn't ended.
ongoing thing forever.
You guys remember, but 50 Cent is so fucking petty
Oh
that
my
he bought
God,
all
dude.
the concert tickets to Ja Rule's concerts and nobody would show up.
Yeah. I'll say this. I'll just say this. The cultural zeitgeist of this has made it the most fun. It is me talking to someone who's never heard of Kendrick or Drake and they somehow hearing about it. It's them hearing it through different things like Duolingo, hearing it through Twitter, hearing it through TikTok, hearing it through this. Like, Chris doesn't listen. My partner doesn't listen to either of them, but they know about all the stuff. And I brought it up, and I'm mentioning there's a second kid, and that there's
daughter.
all the minor stuff, and just like, oh my god, like it's gotten to a fever pitch of just like, yeah, everyone's getting a part of it, and I think that's interesting. Now, do I hope it de-escalates and it doesn't reach to 90s levels of violence? Because
I think it's done now. I don't think there's going to be anything that's going to come out of
Yeah.
this at this point. Now.
personally, I want them to just put
yeah.
both sets of songs on one album, and I'll own the vinyl. Like that's like just
Yeah,
make
split
it,
it out.
come up and just like, hey, we're gonna sell this together, and I don't know, donate to charity or something, like something cool. But like, I don't think they'll ever do that.
No.
Pete, tell us what your wildest part of this was. The moment you were just like, damn, this is fucking crazy.
What, me?
Yeah.
I literally one, I liked BBL Drizzy,
Oh, yeah,
which
BBL
was the
Drizzy.
biggest thing. I think not like us was a huge
Yeah,
thing
that's
for me, at least, because the more information that we got, and the fact that this man was just like, hey, you guys are getting ready to go out to the club this weekend, let me just drop a beat in the song so you guys can just jam to it, because people are like, you can't dance to Meet the Grams, and I'm like, that's not the point of the song. This man knows what he's doing. He has a freaking Pulitzer Award, like, give him a break. And then he just is like, nah, I'm not gonna wait. I don't want to wait for Drake to drop this freaking club hit. Like, I'm just gonna and now people are doing remixes of it as well with Hit 'Em Up by Tupac. So it's very interesting to see. I've been more inclined to see people's reactions to it, because I will definitely, guys, I don't know if you know this, I'm not the biggest rap fan, so it's not whoa, crazy. I know.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? No, but I think it's just being able to see people's reactions, and people the dissection videos of each section is kind of crazy, and then seeing the reactions that large streamers had when they just dropped Not Like Us. And the fact that just seeing I think one of the funniest things was when Kai was told by Drake to keep his stream running to listen to Family Matters, and then all of a sudden 30 minutes later Meet the Grams comes out, and he's just like, Chad, don't play with me, he didn't drop something. And then and then he did, and then he's just completely flabbergasted. And then we've seen what is his name?
I saw the Joe Budden reaction
see.
to it. It was hilarious.
Oh,
Two
I don't
pack.
think I've seen that one.
The Joe Budden one was someone's trying to defend Drake, and Joe Budden they just
He's
start
just
playing the
crazy.
song, and they just start dancing to it. They just start playing it. So good.
And if let's be honest too, if everything is true about what Kendrick is saying about Drake, I know we're laughing about it too. I hope he gets charged. I hope he gets charged if it's true, right? If the allegations are true and he's fucking with minors, he needs to be put in the cell. He's that's just
The fact that he seems to
the man.
the big thing that is brought up in this music is that he seems to be surrounded by a team of people that are all having sordid past. So it's just how again, I don't know their history, but how does that even happen, man?
I mean, you would probably surround yourself around people who are
like-minded people.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
It's stuff like that. Obviously they would definitely have to do an invest, an actual in all seriousness, if something like that has been announced, there has to be an investigation of some capacity, especially for the safety of minors.
Yeah.
So definitely, not gonna lie, there's probably gonna be some investigating. We'll probably see something coming out in the next few weeks, let alone months.
I'll double down on that
if it is
on
true.
Kendrick's side as well, that if it is true of him potentially being a wife beater, that also gets addressed. Either it's via the person that is in question, which they don't have to. That's obviously their personal choice, but that's also something I'm like, that's so great of a thing to hear. But if that ends up being true, obviously the stupidest thing is this supposed secret second child, which was a cool bar, don't get me wrong, but then like Drake supplying that information makes Drake look even stupider in my opinion. But like also just like, why would you?
I like how this man comes out and is just like, no, I don't have a daughter, but doesn't say anything about the pedophile stuff. He's just like,
no, definitely don't have a daughter.
Guys.
Nope.
What the fuck? Yeah, definitely don't have a daughter. I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about.
I supplied him the information.
No, it's just there's a lot of information coming out. Some of it is not illegal. Some of it is incredibly illegal.
Yeah.
So there definitely needs to be, and I'm.
The shitty part is that no one will hold anybody accountable because, like you just said, if Universal Music Group, who, by the way, fuck them for life for, blocking me on Twitter, is not going to hold Drake to the allegations and drop him for possibly this being the case. Yeah, I don't know. We'll never have that solution with any of that. So, that's the shittiest
people
part.
have been like dropped for less. Honestly.
Yes. I agree.
And it's kind of weird that like with everything that's happened with him and like all the allegations coming out that there isn't like at least a statement or something.
But he fucking drops an album every year for varying ways of quality. So I don't know.
Also, shout out to Kendrick for using his keeping his music copyright free, which is awesome.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So
Post it anywhere.
So anybody can post, anybody can react to it and stuff like that, which has been awesome.
Yeah, no, it's been a fun ride to watch. At the same time, everyone check out your people.
It just makes me. I just want another album from Kendrick. I know we're probably not gonna get one for another probably 3 or 4 years at this point.
Yeah,
but
I mean, every album's been really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I rather quality
Also,
over quantity because Drake has popped an album every year, and I can't tell you any of the fucking songs on any of them.
Yeah.
You know what? Also, shout out to New Ho King, who is which is the Chinese restaurant that is shown in Family Matters, because they're popping off right now.
Good for
People
them.
are doing they've gone out. They're just like, this is so cool. People are coming in and they're really excited to be here. Like, we're sold out. People are like going outside and recording videos outside. Like, it's so, mind you, people are recording diss tracks to Drake in front of New Ho King, but they're just like, hey, we're just here to we just love the community.
It's the Keith David effect. Not Keith David. I'm sorry. Is it Keith David?
Keith Lee.
Keith Lee, sorry. Keith Lee is also the name of a wrestler. That's why I didn't even associate it with him. Keith Lee's, the fact that he goes to a restaurant and then all of a sudden the restaurant starts banging. Like, there are some good collateral damage from interesting things, and I think this is a good thing. But obviously, shout out to the restaurant. Good for them.
If I ever go to Toronto, that's the first place I'm going to. I'm going to be like, man, I've gone here. I feel like I understand the situation. No, I agree with you. This weekend's been wild. Do you know what's also something that's wild that happened this weekend?
What's
the
wild?
Frickin' Met Gala.
You gotta tell me what you gotta tell me what happened with the Met Gala. Because the only thing I saw from the Met Gala was Sydney Sweeney, and goddamn.
I don't think I've
Jesus.
seen her yet. At least
I don't know how you go from a 10 to a 20, but it's possible.
I mean, if y'all just want to react to outfits, I'm cool. But
I'm down actually if we could do that, but I don't think we're ready for that one.
If you can give me a gallery, I can maybe make it work. So find a good gallery. Let me know.
2024.
Is this a wig she's wearing?
Yeah, like a black wig.
It might be a wig, but it works. It works.
Yeah.
I was like, goth Sydney Sweeney. I didn't think I could get so lucky in life,
Oh my goodness.
Please.
Oh,
That's a gift to
continue.
humanity.
Continue.
Well, no, I was gonna say if you go ahead. So there's some. Okay, so the Met Gala, if you don't know, is basically it's the Hellfire's fucking gala of just a big gaudy event. There's a theme every year. Celebrities are allowed to be there. Is it for anything? I actually don't know if it's
I
like.
don't know shit about
For
this.
it's for the Metropolitan Museum of Art.
Oh, so it is. So it is actually for art. Okay, that's so funny because
I think it's supposed to be the dresses themselves are on display, not necessarily the people.
Yes, which this year the theme was Sleeping Beauties, which the premise of it is they're dresses that are so finely made. They have to be laid down. They cannot be on an actual mannequin because if they go on a mannequin, they will actually disintegrate or like tear because of how old they are. So they are historic pieces that can only be laid down, and that's why it's Sleeping Beauties is a theme, but not the dress code. The dress code was based off of a short story, which I believe is The Sands of Time, which is a premise of a wealthy married couple who live in a villa that's essentially considered the like Garden of Eden, essentially. And they have different flowers that if you pick it, you can actually rewind time. And what they see in the distance is a angry mob because the poor people or the unwealthy are mad about this villa containing all of this wealth. So every night they pick one flower so they can kind of save themselves for a few days. So they pick a flower, and each time the poor people end up getting pushed back farther to where they were beforehand until the end of the story where they picked the last bud and they were able to embrace and hold themselves while they get essentially engulfed by the angry mob at the end. This is a very short explanation I got from TikTok because I personally haven't read the short story myself, but that's why we saw like the garden theme, but we also saw a lot of like regal kind of like 18th century kind of vibes with the outfits.
Very fluffy, like bottom parts of the outfit.
And then we also saw some sand and time specific pieces with certain people. So there was definitely that vibe in between. So yeah, that's ta-da!
I agree, Dustin. I like my t-shirt and jeans. I'm good.
I mean, generally.
I mean,
by the way, the tickets. Oh, sorry. Continue.
How much are the tickets? You can buy tickets.
$75K each.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's 75,000.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'll
That's
observe
just
from
my
the
college
YouTube or something. Because
Favorite.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that's got to be an experience. It's kind of cool, though, right? Like seeing like
yeah.
these dresses that you're probably never gonna see again on people who are like amazingly attractive.
Well,
most of them.
yes, there's very attractive people there. A lot of it is in regards to the arts, which I personally am a huge fan of supporting. There was, of course, a lot of things that happened behind the scenes, but the premise of it is actors, performers, journalists, they get to come in specific outfits. Some people don't actually go there themselves. They get invited by a specific designer, like we saw with Tommy Hilfiger inviting Stray Kids as one of his invite, like his +8 essentially. He did have a +10, but you can sometimes you get asked by an actual designer to go. You'll be dressed up in their design, so you're almost like a model yourself. But I digress. So then you go inside, and then they. Yeah, then there's a dinner, which, by the way, there is specific food restrictions because Anna Wintour, who is the CEO, like she's essentially the president of Vogue, does not like garlic, onions, and then there's something else that she doesn't like. So there's like things that you can. That's a random side note. She just doesn't like it. The queen was like that too. I digress. So then they have usually a performance inside, which this year it seems as though it was Ariana Grande and her co-star of the new Oz movie, Wicked movie. That's it. So they were there, and so there's just like a whole bunch of stuff. But there's a lot of things going on outside before the entire
Okay,
thing. What's
there's
up, Harv?
A lot of elaborate, outfits and all that kind of stuff. I just looked at Jack
Sure.
Harlow's outfit.
Yes.
It's just a suit. It's a suit you get on.
So,
That's a big thing I heard people say about the Met
Yes.
Gala.
men. So they have a dress code. Men do not get as much flexibility in regards to their outfits than
It is now. I'm looking
female,
at this.
like,
Yeah, I'm
women do.
looking at this more and like seeing all like the guys. One thing I will say, Usher fucking killed it with his.
Can we get
Yes.
a picture of Usher on the screen?
Let me get you, Usher. Give me 1 second.
Here, I'm looking at all of them right now, so I can send you the Usher one.
IRL Barrett Thompson.
Let's see here.
Yeah, I'm just gonna throw them
Yeah,
in the
he-
chat.
Okay.
Mario for you.
he had his Met Gala
Okay.
look and then his after party look.
This guy looks like straight up like
That's so cool.
it's such a good look.
It's so fucking cool, dude.
Here, I'm just gonna.
He looks like a fucking phantom thief.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it. Here, I'm just gonna do window capture and do that. Can you go ahead and describe the outfit while I'm still trying to put it up together?
The outfit is he's got on a leather cowboy hat,
Okay.
a giant overcloak that's collared. I don't think I've ever seen a collared overcloak, but he's done it. And
He's done
I can't really
it.
see this. I can't really see the suit as much because he's got the overcloak over it. The cloak is like wavy, so it's like
There.
it's following him. Right here, pull it up. You'll understand.
I have it up on the stream. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can pull it up on. Okay, but yeah, it's on stream. He's got like flowers that are like sort of like bleeding or sort of melting away.
Is he holding them, or is that like?
Something.
Oh, he's
Lo-
holding that. He's
Yeah.
holding that. But it's part of the suit too, because you can see under them some parts of the suit have that same kind of design as well. So he's holding a bleeding rose.
I'm not gonna lie, it's sort of like the Snow White fucking witch before transformation. Kind of reminds me just of how willowy the fucking thing is, but yeah, I guess it. Okay.
It's like if Van Helsing was in the Snow White universe.
fair. That's a good one. I like that. Yeah.
I mean,
The lead singer Manskin
what
was
is
a good
it?
one too. I thought he looked pretty good because it wasn't just a traditional suit. I could maybe
Wisdom
find that one.
K, if you search him up,
Wisdom?
he had
Wisdom.
Wisdom K, Kaye. He's a model and also a TikToker. Freaking insane outfit. Like I'm not gonna lie, he puts Ushers to shame. Like his looks phenomenal.
He's not in Vogue. He's not under the Vogue thing, so I don't know.
Yeah, he is.
I just searched Kaye.
Kaye,
yeah.
Wisdom.
Hey, Wisdom.
I'm looking him up on Twitter right now just to see if anything comes up.
Yeah, he's not on the Vogue website.
Oh shit! Yeah, hold on.
Is there controversy behind this?
I
Probably
mean,
because-
here I'm gonna transition for everybody on the YouTube to watch it.
Probably because they all. It's probably because they all didn't load up, so I have to probably keep.
Yeah,
scrolling.
here I'm gonna pull
Yeah.
it up.
Oh.
I'll
right
post it
now.
in the group chat.
Oh, I saw this one.
This
Yeah.
one that is a fucking.
That is
Bloodborne monster
he is a
character.
villain in Final Fantasy. Like he is
Oh, yeah.
good to go. Hold on 1 second. I'm showing the wrong screen. I'm showing people the Dune spoiler cast that did not fucking happen. By the way, coming to VOD. We could try it again.
You know who also did not slay at the Met? TikTok star Haley Bailey, who
Haley
decided to post a TikTok of herself in her Met Gala outfit saying, "Let them eat cake," and then proceeded to dance afterwards. A lot
yes.
of people are super not happy with her at the moment because that seemed very out of touch, especially with the economic climate that we currently have right now. She said the reason why she did it in the first place is because her outfit is inspired by Marie Antoinette. And no, it's not it's very out of touch is the best way to put it.
I got the rundown of why it's insensitive. Do you want to sort of explain that?
Yeah, because the premise of Let Them Eat Cake was a quote done by Marie Antoinette when she was
Yeah.
11 years old. And essentially, it was, mind you, she did not say it at the specific time that a lot of people think that she did, like, believe to have said. However, people correlate it with the French Revolution and the fact that the French during that particular time period were in such disarray and in such an economic decline that people associated her saying "let them eat cake" as essentially like, we're rich, you're poor, get the fuck over it. So this was a very, like I said, very much out of touch comment that where she got the clip from was from a song. Think ahead. Think, where's this quote from? And if you don't know, ask a friend. Maybe get someone to look at it. You probably have an assistant who vetted this.
Yeah.
She has
You don't have PR people
multi-millions
for
of-
nothing.
Yeah. What is your agent thinking right now? What
Where
is
are
your
your
manager
parents?
thinking right now? Where are your parents?
Where are
Who
your
taught
fucking-
you this?
Where are your fucking parents at?
And like her, like the fact that she hasn't removed this TikTok, even though she's getting rampant hate currently because of it, and she's just like, it's inspired by Marie Antoinette. I wouldn't do this. It's definitely not like that. Was really disgusting. I'm like, delete it. You can literally do this TikTok. You can remove the audio. You can put something else on top of it. Whatever you need to do, but don't.
Yeah.
This is not good. Not good at all.
Yeah, delete it. Get out of here. Delete yourself while you're at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that. But I maybe take yourself off the internet for a bit. Maybe go on a sabbatical, you know?
take a
But
vacation.
yeah, that wasn't the only thing that happened during the Met. This year, the first K-pop group went to the Met, which was Stray Kids, and they were greeted by a lot of people, very open arms. Even Chris Hemsworth picked up Changbin from Stray Kids at one point. We have no photos, but if we can find photos of that, he's just like, yeah, I forgot he was Thor and he's like super strong. So he picked him up apparently at one point.
Oh god.
Yeah, which is crazy. I think the issue is, they went with Tommy Hilfiger, which is obviously a very famous brand, and Tommy Hilfiger. Yeah, I said it correctly. I digress,
Hilfiger, yeah.
but Hilfiger. But there was a few photographers that were not so great. They were essentially one saying Japanese words to them, knowingly saying Japanese words, and proceeding to tell them, like, you should show more expression, they should be more excited. And then they called them boring. They said,
God
like,
damn.
they were just being super rude. And then they had they had cloaks on when they first came in, and then they turned around, and then they proceeded to take the cloaks off, and they're like, oh god, we have to do this all over again now. And then they kept on making comments about them, and then at the very end, they asked them to jump. They're like, can you jump? How do you say that in Korean? And then you see just like Chris being like, nope. And then he looks at his group and he's like, we're leaving. Like, this is not okay. So being the not so cool racists that they were being the entire time, the internet, once again, even though they are not BTS, Strays are, which is the name for people who are fans of Stray Kids, went on a little manhunt, mind you. All of these men, who are the photographers of this particular section, all of their Instagram are now currently privated. Their social medias are privated. Their home addresses have been posted online. I do not condone doing that, by the way. But people were going off. They're just like, this is inappropriate. They should be removed from going to the Met in the future, especially with the fact that there is diversity at the Met. There is performers that are not from the United States. And the fact that there were also a lot of actors and performers that would, like, they were posing. They were not looking like crazy or like super hyped or anything like that. They were incredibly nervous. They were modeling their outfits because it was supposed to have a specific theme. And these guys were just being incredibly rude, which is not cool and not a vibe. So no shout outs to them. And quite frankly, I feel like they should definitely take that into consideration for next year, especially with the fact that they weren't even the only K-pop performers there. They also had Jennie from Blackpink. So there's probably going to be more actual designers who are going to be bringing in more international performers to the Met. I know Donatella Versace has a freaking love for Hyunjin, who is one of the members of Stray Kids. Like, she literally called him the Prince of Versace. Like, she's just like, this guy is beautiful. Like, she's okay. They were literally at an event over the summer, and she signs him automatically. She's just like, you're now part of the brand. Like, you're now like a part of this. So it's really wild to see that. And I don't think it's really cool. What is everyone else's thoughts? Because I've been rambling on the entire
Honestly,
podcast.
I didn't know any of this was going on because I was too busy looking at Sydney Sweeney. I've seen some really good dresses on there though, but it's not something I really pay, like the Met Gala is not something I really pay attention to every year. But there is, like, every now and again there is a really cool dress out there. I think the craziest one I saw, I had to see if I could find the tweet right now, but it was a dress it was like a gradient dress. It like the person's skin almost, it seemed to like slowly gradient into the dress. It looked fucking amazing. Honestly, it's better than Sydney Sweeney's dress, but like, you know, jokes aside, right?
Yeah.
I'll see if I can find what I'm talking about here, because I think one of our friends is the ones who I think Afro Cyborg, our boy Afro Cyborg, reposted it earlier today.
Ultimately, I would
like,
say
damn.
when the Met Gala comes out, I almost sort of ignore it for the most part. Every now and then I'll see the images of certain dresses, and I would think, wow, that looks really cool, or wow, that's silly. I mean, the number one favorite meme that comes out of the Met Gala, of course, is when Jason Derulo fell. Was it actually at the Met Gala, or was it somewhere else that he fell? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think it was at the Met Gala. People
Yeah.
fall on those stairs all the time.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a famous GIF or a video, or I'm sorry, an image of Jason Derulo falling down the stairs, and it's hilarious. It happens every year. People post it. It's fucking funny. In terms of like me putting any thought about the Met Gala, it honestly, like I said, doesn't really cross my mind. However, I do understand the disparity of like, this is just a lot of rich people showing off how rich they are. And there's a subset of people that are suffering in the world, especially I know that this year particularly, I believe there was someone who was trying to go into the Met Gala, but they were blocked by protesters, I believe for the Free Palestine
Yes.
movement. And then that essentially has been at least the discussion in the household here of just like, we have this such extravagance when there's just so much suffering in the world. Like, how could you look at that? And like, sometimes and this is just me personally speaking, people just need a distraction, and sometimes just looking at pretty dress is fine. But I still am aware of there is still a lot of disparity in the world, and that we're in a long way of trying to figure out how to accomplish and fix the things that we're doing, because it's just so vast. But at the same time, I'm happy that at least the protesters were there in a space that is being occupied by so many eyeballs. And I think that's probably going to be the best for it. So I don't know. For me, I was just like, oh, cool, Sydney Sweeney. Or my personal favorite was Zendaya. I just thought she looked like she came straight out of like the Christina Ricci, Winona Ryder playbook, and looked incredible. And then, yeah, I don't know. That's really about it.
Mario, I posted the one I was talking about here.
I'm gonna try and show it, because what ended up happening last time is that OBS crashed.
Okay.
So we'll see.
It broke OBS.
All the money so the tickets are what, 75 grand,
I
you
see.
said, right?
Mm-hmm.
And does that money go towards the arts?
The Metropolitan Museum of Art.
Okay, so the museum
That is
doesn't
gorgeous.
go to like, okay,
Yeah.
because I was thinking like, does it go back into the community? But it just goes back to the museum itself.
Yes, which that's the here's the thing. I as someone who is an artist, I understand wanting to raise money for the arts, especially with the fact that they are incredibly underfunded. Do I think there's a better way to do it than dressing people up in insane amount of money? Yes. Do I think that there is a better way to do it overall? Probably. I also kind of agree with what Mario was saying. Sometimes we do need to have that kind of relief. Do I think that it is? The problem is like there's a huge part of my mind that's saying like this is a huge waste of money. And then there's another side of me that says like the arts are important and being able to show a lot of designers. And there were, of course, the large designers, but there was also like first time designers there. There's like getting their names out in the forefront. I'm happy that they were able to raise money. It's just like it's an internal struggle for me because like with what I've dealt with growing up with the fact that arts are incredibly underfunded and like just being like struggling with that and then being able to see artists thrive. I'm a huge supporter of it. I don't think this is a great time though to do something like this. We're not doing well globally. But that's the problem in my head right now because there's like a huge part of me that's just like we should get obviously a lot of eyes on, of course, the protesters because there was hundreds of protesters there, and especially with the situations that are currently happening in Gaza. I'm not going to go into it in too much depth, but it's like an internal struggle, and I know that's what's also happening with a lot of people, and I know there are some people about it, of course, but at the end of the day, I think it's just kind of one of those things where it's just like, it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
But I also know that the Metropolitan Museum of Art is also a lot of money. So it's just like,
yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. It's one of those situations, right? Damned if you did, damned if you don't. It's hard to find, like, you know, pinpoint an actual, like, side to take on it.
You know what is a positive? The amount of people that have seen Stray Kids for the first time. And there's so many people on TikTok, not TikTok, but on Twitter, and I'm not calling it X, on Twitter, that are just like, this is the most beautiful man I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like, welcome to Stray Kids. I'm trying to like spin it away from a very difficult topic.
That's fine. I'll say the same thing.
speaking
The
of
lead singer,
distractions-
Manskin. I was like, ooh, he's pretty.
When I found out he was with Dove Cameron, I lost my marbles. I
Wait,
was
who?
just like, what? He's the lead singer of Manskin.
Really? That's funny.
Yeah, he's dating Dove Cameron now. He was engaged, and apparently that broke off last summer, and
Yeah.
now we're here.
Yeah, it was a Damio David, I think is his name. Yeah. Anyways, that good looks overall. But I do want to at least we'll try and talk a little light. We're gonna go past beef. We're gonna go past silly looks, and I want to talk about
Speaking of
Nazis.
distractions.
I want to talk about Nazis.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about killing some Nazis.
We're gonna talk about killing some Nazis.
Quick little intermission here.
Quick intermission.
I texted Mario and I was like, "Yo, you want to link up, man? Let's go see this movie." Because I've been trying to go see.
Yeah,
this movie
I haven't
for a
seen this
while.
man in months. By the way.
Yeah, he's in the suburbs now. It's very hard to get to you, brother. Like, dude, it took me like 3 hours to get home when I got back. You got the train wrong, by the way, you son of a bitch.
I did?
You gave me the time it was coming to the train station, like going the other way.
Sorry.
So I got there and I'm like, that's the wrong train.
My bad.
It was just an extra like 30 minutes. It's fine. I was just chilling.
Okay.
But yeah, no, getting home sucked because it was raining by the time I got back. The fucking Ubers were like $30 to $40, so I like walked all the way to the Orange Line. I said, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna take the Orange Line back." But yeah, no, I met up with this man, and we went to go see a movie. It's been a while since we went to go see a movie together, and we chose. I memorized the name for the podcast.
The
and I
Ministry
think I forgot it.
of
Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
That's right.
Yes, based on a true story, which I had heard somebody say before this, and before we went to go see the movie, and I didn't believe them, and then it literally shows it in the first like 5 seconds, like based on true story. Really good, man. Guy Ritchie still has it. He's definitely like I told Mario, it feels like he's definitely grown up from his films, all kind of looking like Lock, Stock, and what's Lock, Stock, and what?
Smoke and Barrel.
Use Smoke and Barrels.
Smoke and Barrel, and then and Snatch, right? Because most of his films just kind of look like that. But this one, it feels like a different director, but the stuff is there, right? The Guy Ritchie stuff is there. The stuff you would probably like want to go see his movies for in terms of his style. I don't, dude, just an amazing cast of people. A crazy amount of action.
Yeah.
Definitely a little embellished from the SOE files from World War II. But yeah, Mario, I mean, what was your kind of like thoughts on it?
Yeah, so this movie, I saw the trailer and I was just like, oh, it's The Witcher and Reacher
And Reacher.
just killing Nazis. With, by the way, Fee, do you ever watch the movie? Oh my God, what? Last Christmas? Do you ever see the movie Last Christmas?
Last Christmas.
Yeah, there's a guy in there called Henry Golding. He played a guy named Frog. He's the guy with the mustache right there, right in the foreground of his.
With the pipe.
Yeah. He's also in this movie, and I was shocked. I was like, oh, I love that man. I'm so happy that he's hanging out with the fucking Batman, or, my future Batman. I don't care what people say. Yeah, this movie's really good. For basically, it gives you exactly what it is. It's these kick-ass dudes doing kick-ass things, and you're just there for the time. You're right. You're not worrying about social politics. You're just like, nah, I'm just gonna kill Nazis, and I'm gonna do it in the most gruesome way possible. And it's just Henry Cavill like sticking his tongue out and like just like having a good old time. Like, and then Alan Richardson just being buff.
Smiles on their face every time a Nazi is dying. They are very happy.
Yes.
They're uncharacteristically very happy, because you know how you see like war movies are like, oh, I just killed a man. No, 90% of the movie is just Henry Cavill just taunting motherfuckers like it's Fortnite, like, I got your ass in.
Yeah, and this is technically not a spoiler because I just didn't know going into the movie. Henry Cavill's character is Ian Fleming, which, if you recognize that name, is the creator of 007.
Bond guy. Yeah, it's a Bond guy.
Yeah, so this sort of like loosely, I guess, is like the inspiration for his Bond character.
Yeah.
But if Ian Fleming was even close to this charismatic of how he is, like,
Well, the guy's actual name is March, so he plays March. Ian Fleming used used March as a reference.
got it. Because I thought he saw that his name was Ian Fleming like in the beginning.
They might have like added that as like a joke in the movie, but
maybe. Okay.
But March, he plays Gus March something.
Okay.
Because that's the photo that shows up at the end.
Got it.
And they call him March throughout the movie.
Got it. Okay. I thought I saw a different movie then. But either way, it doesn't matter. At least that guy's charisma carried on to that. Like, I can see how they can do that. Because, it's just the coolest dudes you've ever seen doing cool shit for like almost 2 hours. 2 hours exactly, which is kind of nice. But yeah, no, I mean, there's not really much to say other than if you like Guy Ritchie and you like killing Nazis, this is the movie. This is the Wolfenstein movie you wanted. I will say it's definitely more cerebral in the middle, but primarily it's just Alan Richardson taking a bow and arrow and doing some shit. You know, like
there is a plot, obviously, right? Like this is still very clandestine, early OSS, early SAS type shit, where like, you know, you have a person who like the female lead is like trying to lure the Nazi leader into like being not where he's supposed to be, stuff like that, you know what I mean, through like charisma and stuff. But for the most part, the way I've been describing it to people is it's people who are acting like very regal British gentlemen doing very fucked up shit.
Yes.
Like actual war criminals, but like before war criminal was really a thing.
Yeah. They very much have that cadence of them talking in like Gus or the Frog, how you doing, sir?
Meet me in the bow.
Yeah, meet me in the bow. Go ahead and do this. And then like you have like Alan Richardson who's like plays a Swedish character and he just has that very light like, oh, like he's gotta talk like that. I don't know.
Like they gave the jokes, the jokes of the movie are pretty fucking obvious too. It's just like they give the biggest man, or like this jacked out roided dude, the smallest fucking glasses ever, and he's just the whole time, like every time he sees a Nazi, he is fucking pissed. He is absolutely, you can see it in his face. He wants to kill Nazis. He lets rip out their hearts. He's absolutely insane. But as soon as he sees his homeboys, he's just like.
All I'm saying is, if you guys have not watched Reacher yet, please watch Reacher. Reacher's very good.
This has got me to want to watch Reacher.
He's really good in that show, and so that far, I recommend definitely checking it out. But the other thing I want to bring about this is like just the experience of hanging out with your homies, going to the movies, man. Like, when's the last time? Fee, did you saw Dune in the theaters? Is that correct?
Dune Part 2, yes, I did.
And that was the last time. And what was your experience like? I'm just curious because it was cool. We just got our tickets, got our food, watched the movie, and had a good time.
Yeah, it was pretty chill. Nothing crazy happened. Why are you asking how my movie experience was?
I just going to the movies is fun, and I just feel like it's a lost art on most people. People hate going to the movies.
I love going to the movies. I love going to the movies. We have like Cineplex passes here, which like each month I have a subscription and I get a free ticket, and I get like 20% off if I go to the movies. And I get discounts for like if I wanted to do like the D box or something like that.
What's the D box?
It is specific seats that you can get at the back of the theater, which have like movement and stuff like that, and surround like it's a whole experience. I personally haven't done that myself.
4DX.
Who knows? But no, I love going to the movies. Sometimes I find that I can't find a movie that I want to go see in the theaters. That's the biggest issue for me. Of course, there's definitely some movies coming out over the next few months that I want to go see. But yeah. Pretty chill time. I think like one of the things that I want to do at some point, but I don't have the courage to, is like go see a concert in the movie theaters because they've been doing that recently. They did it with like Taylor Swift.
I was going to ask, were you going to go see Ghost in concert in the movie theater?
So, here's the thing. I might. I'm probably more inclined to do that than go see like 17.
Sure.
Because like as much as I love K-pop, I'm definitely a more chill vibe person, and also the fact that like I don't have people in like where I live. If I had like a friend to go see it with, sure. But I'm like I'd feel slightly bad dragging Lucas along to go see 17 in concert. I'm also like concerned because like of course I recognize that I'm not a spry young chicken like chick or whatever. So like I don't know what to say. So like going to the movie theaters where there's like a bunch of like younger people, I'm just like
you don't want to be the older 17 fan. I'm not going to go with
my light stick.
I could tell you at 28 I'm already like I don't want to see any of these fucking young people in my motherfucking movie theater.
Like, I'm not going to go with, like, a light stick. I'm not going to be, like, cheering the specific things. Like,
Got it.
Mind you, it does seem as though, like, a lot of, like, and I'm not trying to, once again, do the whole, like, K-pop versus, like, Swifties, but it seems as though, like, K-pop fans, when they go to the movies for this, they're more chill than doing a, like, Ring Around the Rosie, like, cult vibe in the movie theater while T-Swift is playing, which was absolutely terrifying, and I will never get that out of my head. That's everything I'm gonna remember is like the black and white video of like the Taylor Swift fans like going or like just doing
like
this
a
like
Midsummer?
May circle. It was like Midsummer. Yeah. It was a bunch of like Midsummer nonsense in the movie theater. I'm like,
you. Imagine, think about it this way, man. Their parents had to live with them.
Once again, I have no issues with Swifties. I'm just saying.
You heard it here, folks. We hate the Swifties. We're going to start smoking right now with them. We're starting to smoke. We're going to start diss tracks.
What?
We're starting to smoke with them.
You're saying we want the smoke.
We want the smoke.
Okay.
I thought you wanted to have a smoke with them. You know,
yeah,
I mean,
I think
I can do that too.
Smoke. Let's be real.
Can 17-year-olds smoke? I'm not sure.
I just want to say
Drake wishes they did.
I have been watching Criminal Minds, guys. I have now finished
forget to
the
drink.
original Criminal Minds.
Oh,
So there
came
was
back?
15 seasons of the first. Yes, there is
Oh,
Criminal
man.
Minds Evolution, which, by the way, is not done by CBS anymore. It's done by Showcase. So you know what happens now? They can swear. They swear all the time. It is also, it has a different vibe to it as well. It definitely has more of a cinematic widescreen look, which is a little bit interesting. Sometimes when they do this with like television shows where they're like, we're going to make a movie of it, and then it looks like a lot more serious, like the lighting is different, and you're like, what is happening? This is not the vibe of the show that I usually watch. This is what's happening in
Twin
Criminal
Peaks
Minds
season 3.
Evolution. Fair. But yeah, it's very jarring, because of course certain characters couldn't come back because one of them is contracted with Prime right now. Specifically, I think it's something of time, like something of time. I don't
Land
remember.
Before
I'm
Time.
so
The
sorry.
Wheel of Time.
The Wheel of Time.
Wheel of Time.
Yeah.
Yes, he's in the Wheel of Time, so
Got
he
it.
can't come back. Matthew Gray Goobler currently busy right now, but there's speculation that he's coming back. But here's the thing. People have been recommending shows to me to watch afterwards, including Harv, who
I
had
was like,
me
let's watch
watch a show.
Psych. Let's watch
Let's
Psych.
watch. Okay,
Oh,
you said
no.
let's watch Psych. Mind you, I would like to preface is how we got it started into watching 3 episodes this weekend was Harv said it used to be on Netflix, but now it's no longer there. I'm like, Harv, it's on Netflix. And he's like, no, it's not. And I'm like, look. And I shared my screen and we watched the first few episodes.
Kind of wild. I didn't
This
know it was on Netflix.
This is what happens when you take Criminal Minds, but you make a comedy. It's very much like it's literally behavioral analysis, and that's all he's doing. There's no psychic abilities. It's literally he is paying attention to the room. He's paying attention to specific tells, and then he's able to make an assumption and make he takes critical thinking and he figures out what the situation is because of these small situations. I'm like, this is literally Criminal Minds if you made it like just camp, just crazy camp. And the most frustrating thing ever is this man tells the police, hey, I look like the setup is he's hanging out with a lady, and then the news is on in the background, and then he looks at the television and sees that there was a robbery, and he calls in and he tells the police hotline. He's like, hey, it's the store owner who did it. I know that the store owner did it. He's very like, here are the different tells is how I was able to determine this. So he goes down to the police station to try get the essentially the bounty, I guess, for figuring out the crime. I don't know why he went down for recognition, and then they detain him. Which is okay. You bring him in for questioning. You can't detain him because they have no freaking evidence. Nothing. They had literally he calls in every so often. So they bring him in for questioning, and then they're like, "We're gonna put you in jail." I'm like, "They have no evidence. There's no evidence." I'm like, "They can't hold him. There's no connection to this. All he's done is he's like put in words as to the situations that have been going on, but they have no evidence that correlate him with the crime. There's no way that they're able to hold him." And they're like, "Yeah, we're about to lock you up." And I'm like, Judge, what is happening? I'm like, this is not how this works. But yeah, it's really fun. I am excited to watch more of it because Criminal Minds got darker. Evolution got darker. Everything's gone super bleak. I think one of the things I don't like about dramas, and I understand that they do this because it makes more drama, is like they just make the characters perpetually unhappy. They're like, okay,
Let's torture them.
there's no drama with this character. Let's kill off his wife. Oh, he's happy again. Let's get let's kill off or like let's get their new partner kidnapped. Oh, they're happy again? Let's get the kid kidnapped. Oh, they're happy again? Let's just like
Bury
get
this
him
person
shot at the end of the
alive.
episode. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just like, it's the same thing with like Grey's Anatomy, they do it with 911, which is really funny that Sly's not here while we talk about this. But I do find it funny because there's a specific character on 911 that recognizes that there's an issue. He's just like, something's going on because we keep on getting hurt, like more hurt than anyone else is. Like, it doesn't make any sense why we constantly are in this state of just like chaos.
Once your universe does that, you gotta like kind of stop, because they did that for Fast and Furious, and like I'm at the peak where like, all right, we need to finish this now.
Yeah, we're too many. We're getting too far into the story. There's nothing left for you to do.
Like, I understand with, for example, Matthew Gray Gubler, who plays the character Dr. Spencer Reed. He directs some of the most gruesome and grotesque and twisted episodes in the entirety of Criminal Minds. However, it also correlates to his character just being incredibly unhappy. Like, it's just like, oh, his mother has schizophrenia. Oh, she now has Alzheimer's. Oh, he falls in love with the girl. Oh, stuff happens to the girl. Like, I'm not going to spoil it, but there's just like, it's essentially everything that could go wrong goes wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that drives me crazy about dramas. I'm like, they need, like, I understand they want to make drama to cause drama, but I'm like, I would just rather a criminal of the week than someone on the team getting shot, or one of their
why can't we
family
just have
members
fun,
died.
You know, for the 23 episodes, why can't we just have some fun? You know?
See, this is why I break from the 23 episode like format like a while ago at this point, because you're right. It just, the Flash has to fight another Flash villain every season. The supernatural
kill Iris.
Yeah, someone's always gonna kill Iris. Supernatural boys are always, one of them's dying one season, then the next season they get resurrected. It's always like, even Buffy did that. Luckily, they killed it after the 7th season. I'm just like, we're done with this shit. But like, I think the good shows usually go out knowing that they're going out in 5 or so seasons, and then we're done. Unless you're Game of Thrones, you suck. But other than that, like,
God damn,
I just can't. Like, a show that goes on for as long as they do is like, I respect the commitment. I respect the people that can go through that journey. It's the same people that really love that One Piece. And I know One Piece is good. I'm not saying it's bad. I respect the craziness of trying to go to 1,000 episodes.
Trying.
But I can't do it. Trying.
They've done it.
They've already done it. They've done it years ago.
That's fair. That is fair.
Yeah, I really like Psych because it's very low stakes.
Sure.
But the comedy is very slapstick. So it's not like, you're not going for like, just like cerebral or anything in the show. There's nothing cerebral about the show. It's just a guy that just
Burn Notice had that too. Burn Notice had that too, where it was a lot more
Mm-hmm.
fun than it was. I would say it takes itself too seriously.
But
Burn
Notice had the interesting thing about Burn Notice is, it does deal with, like, it does do the thing, right? Like, characters die off. The character's always constantly not getting, like, the end goal of what he truly wants, right? The interesting thing about that show is that it's also teaching you how to be a spy in a way. You know what I mean? Like, everything he does is narrated by him, but it's telling you as the outlook of a spy. Like, oh, well, I look at it this way. I can get through the situation by adding these 3 items together that I learned that you could just blow some shit up. You know what I mean? A distraction is better than just going through the front door. You know what I mean? Like, stuff like that. Like, there's method to the madness, which is pretty cool. I think Psych is one of the shows where I didn't watch, but every episode that I saw was pretty good. Like, it's definitely a show where I've 100% seen it, but totally out of order, and I don't even know if there's like a mainline story to it.
I'll put like Psych with Scrubs.
Yeah,
you can put Psych like Scrubs. Yeah,
it's
like Criminal Mind Scrubs.
Yeah.
Yes, that's like literally the comedy in it is so. I haven't seen Monk. I need to because it seems like my vibe.
Monk was the one where I'm just like, this is too boring for me. That's the only one I didn't like.
I just
that and Frasier.
Yeah, I haven't watched, like, I've watched a little bit of Frasier.
Yeah.
That's about it. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents on dramas. I'm definitely going to watch more Psych, and also the new season of Criminal Minds Evolution is coming out next month, which is really cool. The biggest preface of the season is, like, rather than having, like, they do have the whole, like, one murderer, like, it's like killer of the week, but they have found a new way to twist it, which it's actually a serial killer group. Instead of just having one person, just like one serial killer and they're chasing it the entire season. It's like, here's a like an underground corporation that's like made of serial killers run by this one guy. And each time, like, we find out that he's essentially payrolling a bunch of serial killers and teaching them how to kill people, just so he can essentially get the glory and the excitement of these kills. So it's really weird, but I'm very interested. So we'll definitely have to see where that goes. But anywho, any other things that y'all want to talk about?
Really briefly, we should probably talk about the Xbox stuff, and I think that should be it.
Yeah,
Right.
we could talk about that. Essentially, this week, if for the people that are not aware, this happened actually generally yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, right?
2 days ago. Yesterday or 2 days ago?
Yeah.
It was yesterday.
Essentially, 4 studios have been closed down by Microsoft Studios. 2 of them being primarily, 2 and then a mobile studio. Were associated with, of course, Bethesda. One being Tango Gameworks, and then the other being Arcane Austin, if I'm not mistaken. And then there was, like I said, the mobile game, I think, is Roundhouse, but I believe they're getting, at least the staff is being absorbed into another company with
ZeniMax Online.
Thank you. Which was the Mighty
Doing
Doom
ESO.
mobile game that
I was about to say
barely,
ESO.
yeah. So, but the main thing is it's going to be Arcane Austin, and then of course Tango Gameworks, which were acquisitioned with when they took over Bethesda and ZeniMax and stuff like that. Main thing I want to talk to Frank, because Frank obviously has much more of a lean into these 2 different. Be careful! Don't even joke about that, Lord. Give me a second. Frank, I wanted to ask you.
God, we were talking about that too.
Yeah, and we'll probably bring it up now. But Frank, you obviously have a connection with Tango Gameworks that I at least wanted to bring up to you. Like, well, how do you feel about that, man?
Look, I just want to say this right now. If you ever see me have a jaded take, or I'm a little cynical about the gaming market, just understand this. Every fucking franchise I love, every year it just fucking dies. All right? Like, you have to understand from my perspective, everything that I love has crumbled in this fucking industry at this point. Because we don't get Metal Gear anymore. We don't get Castlevania. We don't get Silent Hill. When Silent Hill does show up, it's fucking haphazard. Who knows how Metal Gear Delta is going to be, right? And then a tiny sliver of hope every year that I have is that we get a new Splinter Cell, we get a new Devil May Cry, we get a new Metal Gear, or Evil Within 3. Because that's the only thing I want in life. I want a Psycho Break 3. It ain't fucking happening anymore. It is not happening, and it sucks.
I mean, I don't think it was gonna happen anyways.
It was a possibility after Hi-Fi Rush 2, because they even mentioned it in Hi-Fi Rush 2. So they even thought that Evil Within, it was still in their brain, right? I can't, and then not even to mention that, right? The double whammy of I fucking love Prey, and I really love Dishonored.
Yeah, see that one, yeah.
Yeah, the 2 of my favorite franchises right there, because Prey is a fucking 10 out of 10 game that nobody played, because it's the System Shock like game that everybody says they want, but then nobody actually comes out and plays. And then you had Dishonored, which, yeah, they're gonna say, okay, well, that's Arcane Lion. Arcane Austin was like the leadership of like a lot of the internal choices that were made for the first Dishonored, which was, in my opinion, the better one compared to Dishonored 2, which was done fully by Lion. And you can, if you play both of them together, like back to back, you can tell there's a writing difference. There's a difference in the mechanics, there's a difference in how the story is. Dishonored's another 10 out of 10 for me in these games, right? Just that stealth, like, outcome kind of gameplay that you don't get from games nowadays. These are companies that took risks, right? Like, who played a horror game when Psycho Break 1 came out or Evil Within 1 came out, right? Like, nobody, like, horror was on the decline at the time, but Shinji Mikami said, screw it, we're gonna make a horror game. It's gonna be as good as Resident Evil 4, in some ways a lot better. And then immediately go into, making a sequel for that, which is another really good game, like one of the best ones out there. Saying, fuck it, we're just going to drastically change do something brand new, and then do that, and then do it again, right? Like Tango Gameworks was something special. It was definitely like a cool little, like it was a cool project for Shinji Mikami to kind of foster in a new era of developers in that Japanese space. And it really fucking sucks to see Microsoft take something that was kind of really cool, and it was every single time they made a game felt like kind of a labor of love, to then just saying, yeah, we're just gonna cut all ties with our Japanese market altogether and say, fuck you guys, you're bye. You know what I mean? Like if anybody really didn't deserve what happened to them, it's both of these two studios. Because even then too, like I think we talked about this when we're after the movie we saw. Redfall wasn't a game I guarantee you that fucking Arcane Austin wanted to make. Right? It was definitely like, hey, we want you guys to make a game. Let's make it a live service. It's how do you like? Doesn't make sense to me. You would go from being like top tier single player experience to live service. You know what I mean? Like it's a game they didn't want to make. You can tell it's a game they didn't want to make because their games don't come out that buggy. You know what I mean? Like when they actually do come out, right? Like it's something that was rushed, something that was put out to fluff up the profits of Microsoft, right? And then to just do that and then cut ties with them, it's just like it sucks. It's the same thing EA does with their shit, where it's like, here company, do the impossible and make billions of dollars on this game. Oh, you didn't make billions of dollars on this game? Well, bye. Gonna shoot you out back. And then funny enough, another studio dead in the market, and then another bunch of franchises that we're probably either going to see again, and it's going to be completely different, or is just going to lay dormant for the rest of our lives.
Yeah. I did want to point out that I do own a copy of Redfall. I got this for $5. It is still sealed. It even says performance mode, 60 frames per second, not available at launch, even though on the box it says it's available. Harv, I want to hear your thoughts, because I feel like you have some things that you would want to say about this specific group of developers.
This whole thing with Xbox has been it's been interesting to see, because before we went live, we were kind of going over it a little bit, and right now the discussion is it's not what for us. I think I'll say it sucks seeing these studios being closed, especially when there was a tweet with Jeff Grubb that said, I don't think Hi-Fi Rush met expectations. And then Jez Corden asked the question, it's like, well, how do we measure expectations? And then Aaron Greenberg, guy that works for Xbox, said it met expectations and even went over them.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get this. And you're like, well, then either one, you guys are completely lying to everybody what your guys' expectations are when it comes to game, like your sales, or two is just it just wasn't what it probably went over expectation, but they probably wanted more out of it.
Mm-hmm.
My biggest thing now is like, what happens next with this, because they've had this whole thing with Game Pass that makes you so you don't buy games anymore, and they want you in this ecosystem. But this Game Pass model has pretty much leveled itself out now at 35, maybe 36 million users at this point, right?
I haven't seen more than a double-digit growth since 2021, apparently, by the news.
Yeah, no, I think last year there was a 2% growth. This year it's supposed to be a 1% growth for it. And that's just not sustainable, especially if you're not selling games.
Yeah.
Like, you're legit not selling games at full price. So the big thing next is going to be, because Call of Duty is the cash cow. That's it.
This is what we're talking about before the podcast started.
Well,
yeah, there is no other franchise.
I'll even say this: Call of Duty is the cash cow, Fallout's the cash cow, Elder Scrolls is the cash cow, but we're not getting those games for so long.
Call it. Sure,
Call of Duty is going to be the yearly cow.
All of that, though, right?
Yeah.
It dwarfs it.
Well, that's
Every
just
year,
because
like,
it's every year.
seller.
But I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to also reframe it back to the Bethesda thing of, like, they're not putting out their fucking biggest hits because they can't. They never do. So, what were you expecting? That's what I basically am bringing up.
Yeah, It'll change a little bit once Call of Duty is on Game Pass, because you're gonna get. We were talking about this earlier. Is Call of Duty always has this kind of the stigma to it, so a lot of people don't really play it unless you're already into like fast-paced multiplayer shooters, which not a lot of people are nowadays. I mean, obviously a lot of people are. There's a lot of people buying them, but like, you know, for the core people who are like within the industry, they're not really playing Call of Duty, right? Um, this is a chance for people who aren't going to necessarily shell $70 out every year for this game to then go, okay, well, it's part of my subscription and some of my friends play it. I don't have to pay the $70 admission. Even if I don't like it, at least I have a fun time with it for like a day or two, right? Before the podcast started, we were talking about how that would look.
Okay. So sorry, I want to finish that thought that I was having when we were going through that, right? Where there's two different things that could happen here that when it comes to Call of Duty, is that either they increase the price of Game Pass and they put it on Game Pass, or they just don't put it on Game Pass at all and get people to buy it for $70. Which is weird.
Too.
Which is weird because that kind of goes against everything that they've said, is that all games are going to be on Game Pass that are going to be first party, right? But I think Call of Duty is one of those things where, like, I don't know if you can afford to do that with Call of Duty.
Yeah. Well, here's a third option for you that I was brewing up when we were talking about it originally. It's also a possibility that they just give you a section of Call of Duty in Game Pass. They can easily just say, hey, the only thing that's included with Game Pass and Call of Duty is the multiplayer. The only thing that's included with Call of Duty is the single player. You know what I mean? Like, they can section off parts of it. Let's take Modern Warfare 2, for example, right? Yeah, you can get the multiplayer on Game Pass, but you won't get Spec Ops. You won't get single player. You won't get any of the zombie stuff. Like, you can then, like Black Ops, for example, right? When those come out, then they can just section off the zombies for people who want to pay for the game, and then just keep the multiplayer open on Game Pass, right? Like, you can easily section off Call of Duty to do that. I don't suggest they do, but it is an option, and it is a possibility knowing Activision.
I feel like that comes. Well, it's not up to Activision. It's up to Xbox, Microsoft at this point. It's not up to Activision, right? But it also comes into the point where does that give precedence to other games then at that point for them to do that and be like, you know what, the multiplayer side of things is going to be why even make story stuff then at that point, right?
Well, some people do buy it for the story, right? Like, I buy Call of Duties for the story. I know a lot of people do, right? Like, for the most part, the only reason I even bought Modern Warfare 3 is because I was like, oh, Makarov's going to be in it. Okay, we're finally getting to that part of the story, right? A little bait and switch that they do every year that somehow gets me back into these fucking games.
Yeah, my whole thing is, like, I feel like the linchpin is Call of Duty when it comes to this whole platform, when it comes to Game Pass, everything, because it is the biggest thing in the gaming industry. Like, there's nothing bigger than this. So, like, one, it's already multi-platform, so it won't matter, right? So people are gonna be buying it on on PlayStation, PC, and all that kind of stuff. But it really all comes down to, do they really want to put it onto Game Pass and just and eat the cost?
Yeah, and they could.
$70 per copy that you sell.
I mean, I would really, like, the thing is too, I'd really have to look at the numbers of like how much they really do in revenue when it comes to their DLC stuff. Because like I said, like, if you want, like, every season when they do a new season, they have like the regular season pass, right? Which is like, I think it's like $15 or something like that. 10 or $15, right? And they have something called a Black Cell version, which it gives you basically double the skins, and it's an extra $15. And then that's $30 right there every time a season comes out. There's usually like 4 seasons a year, so you're getting an extra 3, 6, 9, 12, like $120 out of people every year after the $70 you've already paid for the game. So, and people buy them because I see the skins all the time. And then top that with the amount of skins they're doing now, because they're doing the Fortnite stuff too, where like we got Cheech and Chong in the game, we got Godzilla in the game, we got Dune in the game, we got Warhammer in the game, Doom. You know what I mean? Like, they're starting to finally bring the Xbox like stuff ecosystem into the Call of Duty universe. That's gonna sell too, right? So the question is, like, does the initial $70 matter when you can probably make double triple or even quadruple that in like microtransactions, right?
I mean, the person would just be paying $70. You'd still be paying that money both ways.
Mm-hmm. But like, would you like somebody who doesn't play Call of Duty, who's playing the game for free on Game Pass? Wouldn't they be more likely to probably buy a microtransaction since they didn't pay the initial $70 price point? You know what I mean?
I
You're bringing
don't
new
know.
people in and new people paying for microtransactions.
Maybe I don't know. I don't know how that works when it comes to like user behavior and stuff like that. So I don't know. That's what I wanted to say about it because I'm very curious on how this is gonna go because I do feel like Call of Duty is one of those things, and I feel like they should have figured this out before they bought Activision.
Oh yeah,
like they
You
should
would
have
think-
been
would think,
ironed
right?
out way before. But now that they're still talking about it,
Yeah. My thing is that they promoted that Game Pass was going to be a sustainable thing, a thing where little games could exist and people could play them. And this just shows that no, that's not the case. Clearly Arcane was working on updates for Redfall, but they're also possibly working on something else. Then you have Hi-Fi Rush here, which was a smaller project for presumably a bigger project for Gango Tameworks that they were clearly working on, but that is no longer the case. The thing is that they keep shooting themselves in the foot by having all these clips come back and have them haunt them in the ass about like, yeah, this is good for the industry, this is good for this is good for that, and then now you're closing beloved studios that you acquired, not necessarily that you homebred. These are studios that were developing their own thing with Bethesda. Obviously, they were going to sell regardless. But the main thing here is that like you also then today can't say we need to make smaller games and then close one of your studios from a really well-loved game that won awards. So it's just like you're just showing that all your other places that are making games to be fucking worried about what could happen to you, what could happen to Double Fine, what could happen to Ninja Theory, Obsidian.
14 days from now.
Yes, which has a game that I fucking barely knew that was coming out until, because I'm listening to podcasts every day. But like in terms of their marketing, I haven't seen anywhere. I've not seen posters. I
don't even know what the game's about.
Ads. I watch fucking Amazon that has ads. No fucking ads. Like no, there's nothing whatsoever that I've been seeing. Yeah. So,
yeah, it sucks. It sucks. I have a question for you two though. And I presented this question to Mario. I just don't remember your answer. Do you think it's time for a change in leadership for Xbox? Is it time for Phil Spencer to just be like, yo, look, my plan's not working. Maybe I should step down. Maybe someone else should step in. I don't think he's necessarily a bad personally for me, I don't think he's a bad person. I know he's just a dude who also has a boss as well, who's probably talking in his ear. You have shareholders, you have all that. I understand that. But to me personally, your plan's not working. I'm sorry.
I think what the problem is we're only seeing like the iceberg. We're only seeing the tip of the iceberg of what's currently going on. We have no internal information. We have no idea what's going on the inside. And I understand that when it comes to studios, studios are closing everywhere. That's the problem. It's not just under Xbox's like umbrella that it's currently happening. It's happening throughout the industry. Now, mind you, I do recognize that this is a very exasperated situation because it is not just one studio talking about closure or dismantling or letting go a bunch of people all at once. There's 5 different studios ranging from a group of a dozen in one studio up to hundreds in another, and I understand that. But I personally don't think that this is the time to change taking Phil Spencer out. Quite frankly, to his benefit, he is, in comparison to other heads of corporations, he's very open. He's very much here's the information that's going on. He's very much we want to let you know what's going on, which is very different in comparison to things like what happened with Stadia, where they had a leader who did not say anything on Twitter and in public for 2 years until the day that Stadia died. So I think having mind you, he can't be transparent. And 1 studio up to 100s in another, and I understand that. But having mind you, he can't be transparent. And 1 studio up to 100s in another, and I understand that. But having mind you, he can't be transparent. And 1 studio up to 100s in another, and I understand that. But having mind you, he can't be transparent. a fucking utopia where he has the ability to do so. He would tell us exactly what's going on behind the scenes. And yes, there are going to definitely be those kind of like kinks and stuff like that. And I do feel incredibly terrible for the people who have lost their jobs because of this particular change. I do also recognize that some of the games that have come out from those studios have not been the best, and certain studios that closed since didn't even release a game from the time that they were acquired to the time that their studio got closed. So it's just, yes, it's an incredibly shitty situation, but we also need to think about it in a like business sense. Mind you, do I think that's okay? Absolutely not. If we had the capabilities to do so, do I think that Xbox should be acquiring studios like it's the fucking like Exodia pieces? No, like calm down. Like we don't need to have 100 studios under one studio, and we don't need studios under studios.
Especially not under a mega corporation either.
Correct. But the problem is that's kind of what the gaming industry is looking like right now. And it sucks because we've been seeing this over the past 5 years, and especially since the pandemic started, where we saw this massive boom, and then now we're seeing hundreds of people getting released. We've seen thousands of people over the past few months alone get released from their jobs because of closures, reduction in staff, and stuff like that, which is, like I said, a terrible situation for sure. We just don't have all the puzzle pieces, which is the other side of it, is we don't see the projections, we don't see the KPIs, we don't see the quarterly reviews, we don't see that information in black and white for us, which, sure, would that give us some more insight? Would that matter to some people? Absolutely not. And when it comes to Game Pass, I personally think that, like, I agree with you when it comes to things like getting those massive games, but then like the microtransactions, because I know for a fact I'm one of those people. If I can get a game for free, I'm going to end up buying stuff for that game because I'm
Fallout
like,
76 is a good example of that, right? Like,
correct.
We didn't pay for Fallout 76, and the first thing we did was buy the season pass.
Yeah,
like it's $10 on top of $0. Like it's easy.
Mind you, I bought it for Steam. Yeah, it's girl math. That's the thing. It's just a lot of like. I think it's because of like my experience in my day job is there's so many things happening in the back end that people don't know about, that like I recognize that happens in the gaming industry as well. And this is me trying to be, I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm not trying to be like the neutral party. I'm trying to think like, okay, putting myself in the other perspective and the other person's shoes in a situation like this.
That's why I say like Phil Spencer is a guy who people don't also understand that Xbox is a division of Microsoft, right? Yeah. So Phil Spencer 100% has a boss. He has somebody who from Microsoft comes in and makes sure the Xbox division is run. There's a board. There's a board of people. There's shareholders. There's shit like that.
Yeah.
He is not the main. He's the main person of the Xbox division, but he is not the main person of Microsoft, right?
Right.
So you have to understand that he has a boss. Like he has to listen to somebody else too.
Yeah, it's not like one of those things like at the end of the episode where you see the person, like, good way to think about it is like The Boys. It's not like at the, I'm like, oh, this really nice person at the end of the episode, he sits on his throne made out of the bones of his enemies and like surrounded by a moat of the tears of the fallen. Like, it's just, it's a person who is the face of a company, but he's not the person, like, he's not just the only say. It's not a dictatorship. It's a massive like corporation that has a leader, but then they have like you said, they have the shareholders, they have the boards, they have like different departments, they have like so much stuff going on, and they took on so much at once. And yes, do I think that some of their moves over the past few years have been crystal clean, like super great? No, I don't think that at all. I personally, like, I'm a fan of Game Pass. I use it daily. And I have been over the past like few months, and it's not just because I'm on an Xbox podcast. There's games on there that I want to try and what I've been enjoying playing. I've been playing like The Rewinder, which is a game that had already been out forever, and then I've been playing Manor Lords, and I'm more likely to do things like buy expansions or like buy the DLC for The Rewinder for buy the DLC for the game The Rewinder. There's just a lot of different moving parts at once, and I recognize that it is an incredibly shitty situation. And I know I keep saying that because
It is.
that's what
Yes,
I
it is.
feel about it. It is an incredibly shitty situation, but I think that there are definitely benefits, and especially for people who might not have that opportunity to buy that $70 video game. Because there are people like that, and they recognize that the market isn't, and like there's a lot of people that don't have that opportunity, but if that gives them people utilizing their games and then getting that time and then being able to take that information back to the shareholders and be like, hey, this is Game Pass, this is what we're like how much gameplay's been done through X amount of time. Like, there's so many different factors at this point that I can't sit here and say that I know exactly what's going on. And I know that's it might sound like me trying to get out of the conversation. It's just the fact that there's so many different pieces happening at once right now.
It doesn't sound like that. It sounds like you want more information before you make a conclusion, and that's definitely respectable.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. I'll give my quick sort of recap of what I think, and then I'll give Harv the final word before we end the night. But ultimately, do I think that Phil Spencer needs to be removed from his position as of right now? No, I don't. Do I think that when we are gearing up for the next generation, do I think we need new leadership? Yes. I would love for then, once the groundwork is laid for the future ahead, I think it should be passed on to someone else. I know that we've had different iterations of this already within Xbox, going all the way back to I'm skipping on his name, but he was the guy that would reveal the games on his shoulder. He would show Grand Theft Auto and then also Halo.
Which worked at EA, right?
Yeah, he worked at EA for a bit. His name escapes me. He was a
I know he's the guy, the Dreamcast guy too, right?
Yeah, Dreamcast guy originally.
Guy.
Yes.
Yeah,
and then obviously Don Matrick, which we all know how that ended up. And then, of course, Phil Spencer. Honestly, you still got to give it to him. He gave it his best shot of rising up from even that hole.
Yeah.
That, to me, is still the more damning hole that they've ever had to build themselves out of. Because, honestly, after that, Xbox could have been easily taken out of the game. And then all we would have is PlayStation and PC. I don't know if another competitor could rise in this market. That's why
Switch.
The Switch is still around, but I don't think the Switch would be comparable. Like, even the Switch doesn't compares themselves to an Xbox or a PlayStation. They're always considering themselves as something else. And I don't know if Nintendo's playing that game, if they gave up a long time ago or decided, we're a toys company and that's how we're handling
I don't know.
it.
I mean, they're getting mighty close to that PS2 sales record.
No, don't get me wrong. It has nothing to do with sales that I'm saying, but in terms of like the power of their devices, what they're doing to propel the industry forward, which they are doing it in their smaller ways, like the handheld, right? The fact that the handheld is now becoming commonplace. I mean, we're probably not going to get to it tonight, but hold on, I'm tied up. I got the PlayStation Portal right here because I actually was able to get it for pretty easily via Amazon, and I'm loving this goddamn thing. Xbox does not have that yet, but that doesn't mean that that's not something that can be controlled, and that's because of Nintendo. But I wanted to say, in terms of like where they are now, Game Pass is a big swing. We're going to see how it plays out, especially after Call of Duty is now, because that's their final major acquisition. But by the time we reach the next Xbox or whatever that ends up being, I'd rather there be a new change in leadership and starting over fresh, either it being just, new initiatives, new ways to help funnel games onto the platforms, whatever it needs to be, so that way we don't immediately just start cutting studios and then now there are thousands of people are just losing their jobs because we wanted to spend big money because we are $1 trillion company, and then all of a sudden we just don't have something in the back end for a game that supposedly did well. So that's my take. And then Harv, I'm going to let you have your final word. Frank posed the question: do you think the leadership at Xbox at this moment needs to go, whether it's Phil Spencer or the such?
No, I think he's done as much as he can do. Like you said, it was pretty bad in the Don Matrick days. Like
that was bad.
It was pretty.
It's pretty bad for Phil Spencer's start too, because that's Xbox One.
That's what I mean. He inherited something pretty terrible. So like you got, and plus you got to try. So if you're a console manufacturer that is in third place, you got to try something new. You got to try to swing for the fences, right? And so I think he's
To be honest, they're ahead of the curve. They were just too early.
Yeah, for the always online stuff for sure. But yeah, I think the only way that it's gonna be sustainable, I think, for Game Pass is if the gaming industry kind of crashes a little bit, where budgets don't go over $300-500 million to make a video game.
Yeah.
Like you look at Spider-Man. Spider-Man costs what, 400 million to make, I think, right? 350,
something like that.
Million?
Yeah, about the amount of a movie.
Yeah, which is crazy amount of thing for a game. Where like I think the budgets for these games are getting crazy, and getting that return on a return is just, it's so hard, man. It's so hard. But I hope, because like what I think the latter part that I got from Fee when I sat back down is like, Game Pass is an awesome deal. Like, it's got amazing games on it. It's got a shit ton of games on it. It's just I kind of want it. I want it to be sustainable. So for these like games to be on there, but it's just getting harder and harder to think that it can be.
Yeah, and it sucks too, because I feel like the general consensus around Phil Spencer's leadership right now isn't great. Right, like if you go on Twitter and you'll see it. You'll see it everywhere.
Yeah,
people talking about it. And
but I feel like when this like big stuff happens, when something gets closed down or whatever, I feel like the knee-jerk reaction is to blame Phil Spencer, blame this person. Let's just kind of step back and see where the trajectory can go.
Well,
right?
here's the thing, right? Like when you're, the way I look at it, right? Like once your fan base is starting to look at you like you're the problem, it's very much harder for you to then buy the stuff that they're putting out later on down the road, right? At some point, so many bad decisions, even if they aren't Phil Spencer's themselves, people are going to associate with it, right? And they're going to associate those bad decisions with the Xbox brand, and they're going to associate that Xbox brand with Phil Spencer. At some point, you're just going to lose the faith of your fan base, and while you're at the helm, as long as you're at the helm, they're not going to buy. That's the way I look at it, right?
Yeah.
And right now they need people to buy. They need people to buy right now. Phil Spencer either needs to come up with a plan, a clear-coded plan to make sure that people have faith in this brand, or you need to find new leadership.
This is also a problem that I think Xbox has had for the last little bit, is like they don't have a clear-cut road map for this, like, at all. There's no like where some games don't come like some games don't come on Xbox Game Pass right away, some do. Are some of these gonna go third party at this point? Like they're just like, we're just doing experiments, we'll see how it goes, that kind of type thing. So like it's very hard to see like what they want or where they want to go and stuff. But that also comes to the point where like I'm surprised they're making another console at this point.
It's weird because they've actually had a plan this whole time, and it's been they've said it. It's just like, just trust us, bro. It's coming. That's been their plan for the last like 3 years, and you can only use that for so long. Where it's like, hey, it takes time to make these games and stuff like that, and it's like, we have a plan, I swear. But when you see year after year after year, and then when those games come out, they're buggy, they're filled with microtransactions, they're a shell of the former selves that they used to be.
But like, I can't even say that though, because Ninja Theory came out with Hi-Fi Rush, which didn't have any of that stuff. It didn't have any of that. It was great.
Tango
it was
had that,
amazing.
Tango, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, but it's still Microsoft.
Yeah,
it's still Xbox.
There's 100% still talent there, right? Like, it's like the talent is there. It's just, is it being utilized? Like,
and to me, it's just knows? Like, yeah, that game came out. It was fantastic. It was praised. It won awards. That studio is no longer with us.
Yeah.
What's the fucking metric? Where are the bars? Are the bars just too high? It's every industry. It's industry that me and Frank has been a part of. The bar just gets too much.
At some point, these studios can't keep up with it, and then the thing that sucks about it is just like, the idea is like, okay, well, if you can't keep up with it, then you're useless. Die. You know what I mean? Go disband and go create like another shell studio of like, with all these people just slowly like being dissipated into this market. It sucks. It's stupid. It leads to a bunch of franchises either just dying out or become like getting taken over by people who who don't understand why that franchise was good in the first place.
Yeah, I really hope Ninja Theory survives.
It ain't looking good, brother.
Because Hellblade looks really, really good. But again, Hellblade's going to be like a flash in the pan. It's like what, 4 to 6 hours long, I think, or 6 to 8 hours.
It's a very small game.
I didn't know it was a small game. I was actually kind of hyped for it because I was like, okay, well, the first one was like 4 to 6 hours, right? But that was definitely like a show of like, oh, this is what we can really do, right? And it's like it wasn't like a big budget game from what I know, but this game's been announced like 5 years ago. Like this has had time to cook in the oven for a very long time, and you expect people to pay full price for it, and it's 4 to 6 hours.
From what I understand, they're making on multiple games because they did that like showcase not that long ago where they had like a bunch of projects in the pan, and this was one of the major ones, obviously. But like, still, you're right. 5 fucking years, man. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Which is it? Sorry,
Hellblade 2.
Senua's Sacrifice or Senua's Saga is this
Senua's
one
Saga.
called?
Yeah. I thought it was gonna be I thought it was gonna be like, okay, this is what Hellblade 1 would be if this was like a big budget game, right? And it's like, okay, well, the tech it looks great. It looks like a really good game. It's just, are people gonna flock to it as much as you think they are, Microsoft? Like, you're hedging a lot of bets on this game. There's a lot of bets being hedged, but honestly, let's be real here. I don't know if they're hedging them as well as I think they are because there's like no marketing for it. Zero.
Comes out in what? Comes out in 2 weeks.
Comes out in 2 weeks, man. I found that out from Mario yesterday, and I was like, "You're kidding me right now, right?" And he was like, "No, 2 weeks." And I'm like, "Dude, do they even really have faith in this game? Like, it just feels so weird."
Yeah, I'm also
Game Pass, baby.
Game Pass, baby.
I'm also intrigued to see like what's gonna happen with their other stuff too. Like they have Compulsion Games is supposed to be coming out with something too and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows?
The future is uncertain, but I will tell you what, the future of this podcast will continue on through many more terrible events in both the film and gaming industry. But until then, this episode's going to be over. I want to thank everyone for being here. This has been a long, lengthier episode than we've been doing recently. This is going back to form how it used to be. 3-hour fucking bangers. But of course, I want to tell everyone, let them know where you can find them, where you can see them. I'm going to go ahead and start with Fee. Fee, you got some projects going on. What's going on?
You can find me over on Carpool Gaming, where I do a weekly podcast with some great people where we talk about Xbox, because I'm on the Xbox Drive. So who knows what I'll be talking about on Friday.
Very excited to listen to that episode.
I wonder what you're talking about on Friday. We should probably check that out. Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows? I also recently I know that unless you are subscribed to their Patreon, I did an entire episode talking about Fallout, the new television show, which was really fun. It was 2 hours long. It was a crazy episode, so definitely go check that out. And also I have been streaming again, so go check me out over on twitch.tv/Zeranix. I've been playing the game that recently just came to Game Pass, which is The Rewinder, a phenomenal game that's based on Chinese mythology. And I cried both on stream and off of stream after I finished my stream last night because I got really sad about a specific thing that happened in the game. So if you want to check me out, I'm going to be finishing up the game this week and probably buying the DLC because there's an entire DLC prequel of it. And I'll probably cry more. So if you want to see that, go check me out over on the old Twitch, please. And thank yous. Yeah.
The old Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
Old Twitch.
Harv, where can people find you on the net?
You can find me beard in the hair pretty much everywhere. I'm just getting back into the swing of things from coming back from a trip and then now being sick. So back into videos and all that kind of stuff this week, hopefully. But yeah, and then here as well.
Very nice. Frank, where are you sailing off to?
You can find me on the TikToks while it's still Well, it's still,
Still a
there.
thing? Yeah.
Well, it's still a thing, at least at the Frank GV, and you can find me on Twitter at the Frank GV. I think Carlos is almost done with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So you might see us soon for that 19-hour discussion that's going to happen for that. Because I don't think I was on the podcast when I finished it, right? Like on Pip when I finished it. So
I don't think you did.
That game's done. That game was done. So
good.
I've been playing Fallout, the original ones.
Gotcha. I'm actually playing Final Fantasy Rebirth on this for the cleanup for Queen's Blood, so that's definitely been a nice little short for me.
I just picked up Hades 2 today.
Oh, you caved. You finally
caved.
Good. You finally caved.
Good.
I asked my Discord.
I don't know why you was even a choice, brother. You know you were gonna play it.
I know I'm gonna play, and then I just posted like Twitter. I got like 9 fucking replies or 10 replies like you have to get it.
Yeah, see,
people that I know, and I'm like, God.
See, the reason why he shouldn't have got it.
Why are you shaking your head at him? Did you not want him to get into the early access of Hades?
No, I've just heard that some people are just not playing the early access of Hades too.
Oh,
and don't recommend it. So
interesting.
Ooh, fair. Wow. I just didn't want to interrupt the project that we're going to work on because I know it's going to be now a battle between Hades 2 and the other project. But other than that, that's fine. We'll get to it when we get to it. You can find me, of course, here at the old X's. That's what you want to find me at, that Mario Rivera. That's pretty much where I'll be staying. But of course, here on the podcast, I am also doing my thing with my lovely voice. I am happy for everyone here. For in the chats, in the comments, people that talk to us on Twitter, in our Discord as well. Don't want to mention that we fact that Point in Progress has a Discord that you can hang out and interact with us. We're constantly having these debates inside there, so please come and hang out with us. And yeah, I just want to say goodbye and thank everyone. Progress has been made.
Shout out to Valve.
Shout out to Valve, who is an independent company. Triple Indie is what I would call them. Triple Indie.
Be happy the way they are now because it's not going to last forever.
Yeah, almost being the monopoly on gaming for PC.
Yeah.
But you know. Anyways, thank you all in the chat. Take care. Goodbye. And we